Hello, and welcome to the Speak 2 podcast. I'm your host, Nuzgar, and today we have a special guest host, Detective Deckard.
Hello, everyone. I'm Detective Deckard.
And we also have our special guest that we've been promising for a while, Tommy C.
You know, I just realized that I haven't done, we just did the whole clap thing, and I just realized I have not done this for over a year since Sketch 33. So it was weird. It's weird. I know, because I do everything live, so it was just...
Okay, so let's start with the first question, Tommy. Why did Catch 33 end?
Sweet.
Well, you know, I did tell these guys that they could say whatever they want because it bores me for softballs. Yeah, that's not a question I wanted to answer.
The first one. The first question.
I think that was a good one. I wouldn't say I am going to answer it, but it's not a question I wanted to answer. So I sat there and said, "Get me," and you right off the bat, I was like, "Fucking, good job." I'm impressed. Look,
Podcast over.
Because it brings up the things, you know, like, because everybody's cool with each other and you don't want to say the wrong thing.
Yeah.
Look, a lot of it was Colossal's participation or a problem of it. A lot of it had to do with him moving. I really do believe, and I don't think I've ever spoke publicly about this, so I'll give you something. The linchpin in the podcast, and this is not a slight on Vega, was the fact that we went with the idea, which on the surface is a great idea, to have such a graphics going in. These podcasts have to be quick and to the point and topical. And I remember, I don't think I've ever said this publicly too. I knew it was over that moment. Right. What happened was, look, I know soldiers, and I knew he was telling the truth when Vegas said that. I could do this. I could get it out within 24 hours of a recording. And all I could think of was, yeah, you say that now, but you haven't done it before. So it's just like you don't know what problems you're going to encounter the first time out, right? And I immediately disagreed with it. I said, no, I don't like that. I like something simple, similar to what... similar to what Ultra Joe does, but I definitely want the graphics. Or I think I may have said something. I agreed to the first one to be kind of graphical, like to have heavy Vega graphics. I mean, Vega was always a huge part of this podcast. Don't get me wrong, and I think he made it special. But I did worry because we were competing with Beta at the time. That would cause a problem. So I did speak up, and Clown did say to me, "Do you know about A, B, and C?" And he was talking about. He's talking about things that him and Vega understood, like graphics, and he said no, and I said no, I honestly do, but I do know how just things tend to work. When he hasn't done it before, he's not going to know what problems he's going to run into. And I didn't say this. He's a soldier. He's going to say yes, because you got to remember, Dave and Vega are in a position where there was this huge YouTuber. I had been around huge YouTubers at that point, right? And. So I knew that I knew it was over right there and then. I knew because I pretty much got overruled, and Dave kind of overruled me too because he didn't know any better. And Vega, he wasn't going to say no because he's infantry, And I did.
So wait, who came up with the idea?
Vega came up and he said he could do it because Vega was going to be the graphics guy from the day one, but he wanted to do something really, really special. I just thought it was too much work for the amount of time that these trending topic issues come in. Something like around the time the Tana Mojo thing came out. You got to get that out day one. Day one, as soon as humanly possible. That's what when Keen calls you, let's go. It's really the smartest way to do it. And I knew that would cause a problem. And even if it didn't cause it, let's say he got him out in 24 hours, it's still 24 hours more than Beta came out, and that's what we had to compete with. And whether Clown saw it as a competing or not, we were. Yeah. And I think that was another problem. Clown's not a professional in the sense that of course his stuff is extremely professional. But he's not a professional as the way he treats this. He treats this as a hobby, and I think that's what why people find him so endearing.
He's not business minded kind of stuff.
No, not at all. And that affected us. That affected us. Pretty deeply. I pretty much knew, and I gave up. But I never wanted to be the guy to give it up. That being said, the content that we produced. I think, with the exception of some of the live streams, the content that we produce is by far the best content that I've been a part of. I know Dave's repeated this on several occasions. I really think it was a better show in a lot of ways. Everybody said it was going to be a dick-sucking contest or a circle jerk or whatever they said, but it wasn't. You go back and listen. The episodes that it certainly wasn't. Me and Dave got into it, what have you. What it wasn't was a car crash.
Yeah, exactly.
And look, Baited needed to be a car crash right off the bat. That's what put the emotion into it. But I don't think Catch 33 could differentiate itself. There could have been drama there. There could have been tension between the hosts. There could have been, but that all had to happen organically. And when Baited starts, it's already there because of everything that's happened. You know, I'm a nobody YouTuber that doesn't even know anything about the big secret. I was a normie when I got picked up for Baited. A total fucking normie. And you guys have way more experience than me. I mean, I know guys 14, 13 years old probably knew more about the scene than I did. But I learned quick. And that was automatically injected. I think it could have happened through time. I think Dave did a spectacular job, considering he only had a couple thousand subs. He really adapted. I mean, you put Dave in anything. Clown. What do you say about a guy like that? He can podcast. He's one of the top. He's one of the top content creators on the platform, talent wise. Maybe not subs or money, but that's not what he's in it for. Vega, unfortunately, and I think he actually. I think if I had to guess, it really hurt him the most. It really did hurt him the most because he really. But I don't know. Is his stuff any worse than the rocket jump guy? I don't think so.
No.
Vegas stuff is amazing.
Yeah.
He put and he does the graphics for my show, but he put Elvis the Alien in a spaceship. You know, I mean, and it looked fucking cool. It looked cool, but I think it was just too much to ask. And if you notice, which I thought was a great interview, the I Hate Everything interview, we did tone down a bit as per my request. You got to put these out. I see. I come from a radio background, so everything is a radio in the sense that that's what I was always shooting to be. Yeah. I don't have any ins in the business, but you gotta keep a tight schedule. Now, all right, YouTube changes the dynamic a bit. You at least got to put out at least. I'm all for one a week, but I think you at least have to put out 2 to 3 a month in the YouTube realm, maybe 2 a month in the YouTube realm, and I think with both cases with Baited and Catcher 3, we had YouTubers. Sort of doing radio and podcasting. They were looking at it as title and event, and they weren't looking at it as we also have to entertain themselves. We can't just rely on the title. That's just the way I feel about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the questions I was going to ask, because Dave recently said on when he had Clown on as an interview, he said that he truly, truly believes Catch 33 was the better of the two shows between Baited and Catch 33.
I believe that as well. I believe that as far as the content and the discussion, and I think it was a lot more thoughtful, the podcast. I'm not like entertainment wise, but see, the thing is, it was something that needed to be built. Did early episodes of Baited were better out of entertainment factor because all these organic things that are happening outside the podcast and Keem's drama alert looks like on its last legs. Yes, there's probably a few favorite, but as far as like what we put together and the goal, I think it was pretty good. I think Keem admitted on one of the betas he thought it was a pretty good podcast. You know, that it was interesting and it was captivating.
That means a lot.
And
it
was really a great lineup. I don't think about it much anymore. I just and then when I said I didn't want to talk about it, it's because I don't want to say the wrong thing where I have to explain myself, and I don't think I will. But I just, if you really think would Dave, there was another really big YouTuber that we're going to pick, right? And I've told Dave this, so it's no big secret. I said, I wanted the big YouTuber, right? To be safe. Because I'm thinking about money, you know?
Yeah, of course.
Clown goes, how about Dave? And I knew, it wasn't a bad idea. It wasn't a bad click. Clown had done Shot from the Points with Dave. I knew it wasn't a bad idea, but I'm thinking safe. And Clown really pushed that. And I got to be honest with you, I'm really glad he did.
Yeah, Hello? It was the right decision.
Yeah, it was really the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't think that with this baby, who, by the way, this YouTuber is fantastic. That didn't get picked, but it would have been huge either way. But I really believe that was the right decision to make, and Vega was the right decision to make. And I think what happened is we should have went low tech on a few episodes. Maybe the first one was big and low tech on the others, or maybe low tech on the first because everybody expects the big explosion. I remember seeing complaints about the I Hate Everything episode, and I'd even said that because Clown taught me that with the Grade A Under A episode. It was so crazy. He didn't want to upload it because he said it was so crazy and so nuts and so emotional that we'll never be able to top it. And you know what? And in some sense, with the exception of the H3 and the Leafy interview, and the Leafy interview wasn't that good on the surface. It just a lot of crazy events happened.
Because of the drama around it.
Yeah, it was just because of the drama around it. And he was right. Clown taught me so much about sort of YouTube momentum. I don't know if he meant to, because you can overdo it.
Yeah.
You know, and then you're constantly, if it's a car crash every time, everybody's coming to see a car crash. And then you can't have the discussions that we had on Catch 33. It's impossible, you know. And I'm not, and by the way, these aren't sneaks on, these aren't low blows on Keen either. That's the way, he didn't set it up that way. I'm more ashamed of what Baited became after I left. Than what it just if I'm gonna take a shot at Keem, I'm gonna do it directly. All Baited is a way for him to get it even with enemies, and maybe it always was, you know.
That was like H3 when they did Baited again after
the first thing he
months.
said,
and that was literally because of H3.
So, I mean, even the most recent one, he kind of just defended Rice Scum.
If you look, like, I mean, like, go back to last December with Chubbs, it's score settling, and to be honest with you, I think Clown was very clear that's not what he wanted it to be. He was very clear that we were all allowed to speak, and that's not what he wanted to be. And I think that's I think with the people asked me what my favorite episode it was. It's before I saw the light. It was the Mac Weldon episode, probably the most hated of all of them. Well, because it actually showed that was more reflective on. I thought, like, if we were ever going to sell this podcast, we're going to have to sell all our personalities, not just the Leafy Grade thing.
Yeah. And
I thought that displayed it the best, and it could have been built on. And that's my favorite episode, because that was us. That was all three of us. That's probably, like, me and Keem were never friends, but that's about as close as we ever came.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, but there was that feeling. Wait a minute, the drama's over. You know, now what?
And I think that's why it was important you got Dave, because, like, if you got a big YouTuber, that's more of a short term. You know, everyone's going to watch it. But if you guys don't mesh, and some big YouTubers probably aren't that good at podcasting.
No, there isn't. There isn't. So, I mean, I think Anything Reviews has improved, like, dramatically in the last 2 years.
Yeah.
I don't think he was very good at all. But I mean, if you see the stuff that he's doing with Max Mofo and you check out some of the things that he did with the one episode. I don't know if they were going to do it again with Dolan Dark and Pyrocynical. That was really good. I mean, I think he's gotten a little more thoughtful because he was a video guy. He was a IRL guy. Yeah. He did adjust that style, and he's really impressed me. And I think he's really going places. That Cold Ones thing is very special.
Yeah, he really has changed. Like, at the very beginning, I do feel after your departure, they were very weak Baited episodes when Chad first joined, and the comments he made were just, they barely even part of the conversation. They were just random funny snippets for no reason.
Yeah, and that's what you would do in IRL.
Yeah.
It just didn't match. I don't think even Clown realized we're doing radio.
Yeah.
But I was talking to two successful video guys. One of them is a legend, you know, at that point, you know. But the radio, I mean, the biggest shit that I took back then was, you know, you don't join the conversation. I don't have a problem speaking out, if you've noticed. I think I've made that abundantly clear. Both before, and you can go check my hockey stuff, during and after Baited. But I understood the three-man concept. I'd watched it with, you know, Howard Stern, Don Imus, and Opie and Anthony. These are big, you know, shock jock radio personalities in the States. And I don't know whether they do it or not, but we came up with their name for it when I was on the Joe Cronin show. It's called sniping. You have the two conversators and the sniper. Any more than three is a problem unless you're doing an interview or a call. And otherwise it just becomes a headache. I don't think, what was the original podcast supposed to be? Meme Talk or something like that. It was with Grade Leafy, Keem, and Sky Williams. I think that was the original Baited lineup or proposed. I forget exactly what it was called. That would have never worked.
Yeah.
So when the podcast started and they just go right at each other, I thought to myself, I have to shut the fuck up. You know, I have to play a backup role, because if I did the Tommy C spiel or act, it would have been something like, you know, who the fuck's that guy I think he is?
Yeah.
And I was right, because when things went south and people started watching Shot from the Point, they said, "Who the fuck's this guy think he is?"
Yeah. I was one of them. I was one of them at the time.
Oh, real? No kidding.
Yeah.
Well, we had an interview. Me and you. I think you got the first big
I did
interview.
Yeah. I remember telling you that. I was like, "Who the fuck is this Tommy guy?"
Yeah.
And then, I was always against. I was always like, "Who the fuck's Tommy?" And then I think after you left Baited, then you made Shot from the Point. Oh, Shot from the Point was always there. But then when you focused on drama, because you didn't always do drama on Shot from the Point.
No.
So you
I did, but
hockey.
I started doing it right when I actually did it before Baited started.
Oh, okay.
Because the hockey season just ended
right
there. So I was like, well, might as well keep earning money, you know?
I still remember you used to do like, after the Baited episode would get released, you do like an after show sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Like a live stream.
That was actually Keem's idea, if I'm
really?
Well, they brought that to me. Clown suggested it and Keem liked it, and it was kind of a gift to me before like the checks came in. That was always before we got the big sponsors. So it was kind of a nice thing that they did to do this. So they let me keep. They usually let me. They let me keep the donations.
Yeah.
And of course, having Keem down was just people are just gonna file in. They were fun episodes too. In fact, there's one of the biggest ones I did. I think it was the day I moved. It was a day or two after I moved, because I moved the day of the Leafy interview into the apartment that I'm in now. And I went back to my old apartment, and there was this huge echo because we moved everything out of the house. And Keem and I did a podcast, and I thought that was really good. And if I'm not mistaken, that's well over 100K. Wow. And I thought that was pretty good. We just took calls for Keem.
Yeah.
You know, and that was a really good one as well.
Yeah, I like the whole sort of like gimmick of it, where you'd have people who watch the episode come on and ask you questions. I did really enjoy that.
Yeah. It was good. I mean, that's what I brought to the table. I brought radio and sniping, and that's what I thought. And of course, the goofy laugh definitely helped.
The laugh track.
I don't Classic know. Laugh track.
Yeah, the laugh track. Yeah. Like, would I have liked to said more? I know every time I did see more, I remember I'd get the difference between a 500 sub day and a 2,000 sub or 1,000 sub day, depending on what happened on the show. But I was always really careful. That I didn't overstep it, because I think they were both aware of that. You know, I mean, I really fought for the great episode. I really fought for that one.
Yeah, that was so good.
And Keem and me got into it. Me and Clown got in a screaming match. I don't know if it was good, but it was raw.
It was car crash good.
That was car crash good. Yeah, that was really car crash good, because Grade had made, and he admitted, it's not a secret, Grade admitted that he did make that video claiming that I called him a pedophile, which drove me up a fucking wall. You know, that really pissed me off. Not only are you not naming me, you're telling me I did something that I didn't do. I said something almost not as bad, but pretty bad and probably outrageous. You know, I said that he shouldn't be around kids, but what I was saying was, if somebody lied like this about Keemstar, would you want him around his kids? It never would make that
I understood.
And when I did meet Grade, who I'm glad's back, by the way. When I did meet Grade, he was nothing but a gentleman, very true English gentleman.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
In regards to all the past dramas, then, so is there anything that you're still holding beef with anyone, or is it all sort of like settled?
I really
now?
don't. I mean, look, I really don't have any beef. I don't beef as much as I used to, because I'm very content conscious now, more than I was in 2017. I started getting more. I think it was the. Because what's happened is, since the there's only like one drama alert a week now.
Yeah.
Since the apocalypse has happened, I believe, and I kind of predicted this too, there's less guys making a living.
Oh yeah.
Making YouTube. There may be more million sub guys, but there's less guys. That means less drama. And when was the last time Keem covered FIFA? There used to be a lot of drama. There used to be a lot of drama in that community. A lot of interesting things going on. I remember when I used to watch Drama Alert as a fan, I was like, I didn't care what it was about as long as it was captivating. Yeah. And now it's like the way Keem does it. And by the way, this isn't a criticism either. When I criticize Keem, it'll be direct. This is indirect. I will make no indirect criticisms. I think what's happening now is like there's a pool of 5 people that are going to get views, and I think he's essentially cornered the market. So if anything else interesting, like I guess we have the Tonkasaw drama going on right now, or anything else, it doesn't even, or Mumkey Jones, it doesn't even make the cut unless it's the top 5, because that system works. In fair, that works, and that's unfortunate, because why I love Drama Alert, I was a huge Drama Alert fan before I even talked to Keem. Well, huge fan. I love the diversity I loved all the stuff that was going on. I loved his witty comments. And it was a little bit for an older audience. There's more esports stuff in there that I always found interesting. And it's just like now it's the Pauls, it's KSI, and then one guy gets moved out. Yeah, one guy gets moved out, and the other guy gets put in. It's just not as fun as it used to be. That's not 100% Keem's fault. No. I think there's just less people making. I only do 3 shot from points a week now.
Yeah.
Wait, used to? Wait, how many did you used to?
5 a week.
5 a week.
Sunday through Thursday. Now and I've gone from 3 a week to when it's hot. When it's hot. We have different types of shows. We have a news format show, or we have a where we go through the whole thing, sort of like Robin and Stern. And then we'll have, if the topic's big enough, we'll take up most of the episode. We don't even take calls as much as we used to. It's changed, and that's what I think. That's because there's less people making drama because there's less people making a living. And so it really cuts down on it. And again, I'm more content oriented now, and I'm not just going on there to start shit. I want to say interesting things. I want to get people to think about what we're talking about. I want it to be funny. I want to do a sketch once in a while. I did a song about rice. I did a rap thing about rice gum, a song about Onision. We're a little more creative. We come up with not everything's organic, but we might like exchange jokes or something. Everything's shot from the point now is a multi-team effort. And I think it's in a lot of ways it's gotten a lot better.
Well, let me tell you something. Nuzgar is a rising star. He's gonna become a big YouTuber, and he's gonna start shit with everyone. Calling it now.
You know the right people.
I'll fucking do it.
He's gonna start shit with everyone. He's gonna be Keem's enemy.
Fucking run at me. Let him. Yeah. I've already ruined his day in poker. Touched his cards. He went fucking insane. That was pretty epic.
What I was going to say, now, unless, Nuzgar, you're going to ask a question that's related to Baited, because I thought of moving on. What do you think?
I was actually going to, ask about the new Monkey Jones drama.
Okay, wait, before you ask that, I've always wanted to ask Tommy, I think I already know the answer. Who do you prefer out of Howard Stern or Opie and Anthony? Stern, yeah.
Yeah, Stern. Why? And I would have said, I think I grew up an Imus fan. And Don Imus might be the first. They say that Stern is, but I don't really believe that because my dad told me Don Imus is the first guy on the radio to talk like a human being, right? But he was older. He just retired in his 80s, just a few months ago. Stern, he claims he didn't. It's tough to believe. He said he never heard about Imus. I don't know how you could have been a radio guy and not heard about Imus in the 60s, and he grew up in New York. I think Stern took what Imus did, talk like a human being, and said, hey, welcome everybody. How you doing there? He took because Imus talked like a human being. And you'd see more. I think it spilled over to England and in other parts of the English world. People, the DJs talk more like human beings than they did 20, 30 years ago. Yeah. And I think Imus did that first, and Stern just perfected it. Yeah. So that I think probably Stern. I mean, I almost got in a car accident with Stern. Imus never did that to me, but I did hold my gut a few times. I mean, Stern might have said the funniest thing I ever heard in my life. You familiar with Insane Clown Posse?
Yeah, ICP.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. All right. They were. By the way, those guys. Go watch their interviews.
Oh, I've
online.
seen that.
Anyway,
I've seen that one.
Are, first of all, both of them. They're dopey guys, but they're very, very funny and very, very witty guys. Yeah. So some guy called in Stern's show, and I was driving a security van. I think I was 20 or 21 years old, and I was driving a security van, and somebody came in and called them a bunch of wiggers, right?
Yeah, I remember that. A bunch of fucking wiggers.
Like, I guess they had this plan because I guess they didn't like being called wiggers. Yeah. And he's like, dude, what does that mean? What do you mean? He's yelling at the caller. He's like, what do you mean? What does that word mean? What, wiggers? Yeah, that's racist. Like they try to make it like you're saying wiggers because you don't have the courage to say the N-word and stuff like that. And then he's screaming and yelling, getting all self-righteous, and Stern just whispers into the in the microphone, well, maybe it would be more appropriate if we called you guys weak-rows. You know? I was driving, and like the right tire of the car went into a ditch, and I had to pull it out.
And then you ran over a black man.
Yeah.
So
you mean a wigger?
A wigger, sorry. That's a white man.
Yeah. But yeah, I think that alone is, to me, the greatest radio moment. If you could almost kill me on the show. I don't know. As much as I love Don Imus, I hope he did a great job too. But yeah, it's Stern's the king.
Do you remember when ICP were on Stern and then Slipknot walked in? Do you remember seeing?
They had a huge fight. Or
yeah,
something.
It was some tense moment. They're so good. It's on YouTube.
You know, the thing is, back then in like ICP, like I'm not saying their music is great, but they were really unappreciated as a live act because they're great live. And really what they were trying to say, yeah, we're white trash. Yeah, we suck, but we could still make a party and be ourselves and do our own thing. And the groups that hated them, like Eminem, and they were so in that Hollywood record company mentality that they couldn't really see that these trailer park boys created a tiny empire.
Yeah.
You know, and that's always what I always like to consider shot from the point. No, it's not baited and stop this, but it's just got this hard core audience that just won't go away. And to me, they could do whatever the fuck they wanted. It didn't matter if they got caught like doing crack or anything like that. God, that's ICP. Who cares?
It's gonna happen.
You know, of course, it's their white trash. Yeah. Whereas everybody else has to walk on a fucking line, and that's why I was really impressed by ICP. Just not their music so much, but they really don't give a fuck. No, you do give a fuck because you had to tell me. They really don't give a fuck. So I did a show on ICP. In 2017, and it's too bad that things didn't work out for them because we're kind of supporting them. But I think people really missed the boat. It's ICP's like it's a show. They're not trying to be.
It's theatric. It's like Guar.
And you know, they tell you something. You put out a couple gold records. All right, it's not platinum. It's a lot of money. You can live pretty good. It's a lot of money. You know, so I was impressed. I wanted to be the ICP of YouTube. I think I might have accomplished that in some sense.
Just paint your face.
Not that. Yeah. Yeah, but even the painting the face thing, I was like, well, when I first saw it, I was like, that's stupid. They suck. They're gay. You know, when I was a kid when I saw that. But then I saw it more as I got older as a true fuck you.
Yeah.
You know.
Do you know what they need? Right, this would be fucking perfect. They need a third member, and it's got to be Colossal. The three fucking clowns.
Get him in there.
Yeah, Colossal likes rap too. I'm sorry. You guys just don't live up to my expectations of what hip hop should be.
The clown podcast, literally. ICP podcast.
That would be,
ICP, Insane Clown Podcast. There we go.
Genius.
By the way, do you know they have wrestling events at their shows? Like they have real wrestlers come in. Oh yeah, it's called. Yeah, they have like big guys that just retired. And they have wrestling events. Yeah, they were in WCW, ECW as wrestlers.
Oh, I think too. I remember that.
They really did. They literally they made all their white trash dreams come true. And I, you know what? I don't say that as an insult. I think that's
coming
awesome.
From the bottom, coming from the white trash swamp.
They really came from serious poverty. There's no doubt about it. You know,
they were born with fucking heroin needles.
Yeah, they've moved their caravans from the fucking ghetto into the white man rich estate.
Well, they can't even get real shows on. They have to go out. They have to have all their shows in the boonies because the FBI has marked Insane Clown Posse as a gang, as an official gang.
Really? Fucking hell.
No, they got screwed because it was so funny listening to them, and they said when we first put on the FBI gangs list, we were like, badass, but they didn't know what that meant. Yeah, badass, because there are trailer park gangs full of white guys. Sometimes they're white nationalists, sometimes which they're not about, by the way. And they would call themselves juggalos.
Yeah, the juggalos.
Right? They call it. So there are legitimate gangs that call themselves juggalos, and they're usually really poor white guys like in Delaware. Okay, and so, but ICP has nothing to do with that. I mean, they're less gang related than. I mean, you get guys like Snoop Dogg. They pretty much advertise that they're in the Crips. You know, I mean, they're not connected to anything. They're a bunch of poor white boys. They're connected to nothing. And the FBI put guys are getting kicked out of the military for the tattoos because you can't have any gang tattoos. People getting pulled over on site just because they have a thing in their window.
Fuck.
I knew a most people think they're just listening to a band. If you work for government and they see a sticker on your car or a tattoo or anything like that, you could lose your job for gang affiliation. So they actually marched. They marched on Washington. They marched on Washington against it. It was horrible because we literally, like, can you imagine putting an Iron Maiden shirt down? And now the cops have the right to fucking question. They have the right to pull you over. They have the right to check you out because you are advertising gang. It's the same thing as being in the Bloods, the Crips, or wearing a rag or something like that. It's really, really and it's a rock band, dude.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's a rock hip hop band. I mean, that's all it is. You know, so they have to do their shows like in the boonies. It's really unfair.
Yeah.
I mean, it's dumping on poor people is what it is.
Yeah.
But nobody cares because they're white, and nobody cares because they're white trash.
Can you imagine the FBI meeting when they've got their fucking pictures of ICP on the board and all these inbreds underneath?
I don't think it happened that way. I think what they did is they probably started doing drug busts, and they said what gang. They figured out the gang affiliation, and we're in Juggalo this, ICP that, whatever, and so they could just go ICP on the list, even though they were literally just taking a part of a band name and inserting it into their gang.
Yeah.
So it's really unfair. I know they've been look. ICP has been in trouble with the law and drugs and stuff like that, but never racketeering, or anything like that. I mean, it's not. It doesn't even come close. So it's really sad, and they fought it and lost.
Yeah.
It's really they fought it and lost, and it's quite sad.
R.I.P. ICP.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, Nuzgar, you wanted to ask your question.
I was going to ask about the new drama that's recently coming up, then, especially with like the monkey thing, and obviously the what's your take on all that?
Monkey and me talk. He's been on 2 or 3 of my shows on Twitch stream. It was almost like when the Ralph Retort got hit by Wall Street Journal, I knew it was over for them. It was the same type of feeling. When I saw the channel go down, I was like, oh, it's another mistake. We'll flip it, because we always do.
Yeah.
I don't feel that way anymore. When they answered him with hate speech violations, I knew it was over that minute. I knew it was over that minute because they're either, I think a lot of people get wrapped up in, oh, they don't understand the satire. Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
They don't want it. Yeah. They don't want the satire. Yeah, they do. People get all wrapped up with like, boy, the European Union is so stupid for Article 13. No. It's deliberate. It's deliberate. They like, what is Article 13? It means we won't be able to upload. Yeah, it means you also can't be a reporter, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, doesn't mean you can't be a journalist, independent journalast in Europe. And instead of making independent journalism illegal, which is slapping the face of Western values, why not just make it impossible to do it through licensing? Yeah. The power to license is the power to control. And they try to do it. Like at first, the record companies, one of the things I think Article 13 just collapsed is because the record companies just found out, hey, we're not getting any plays on YouTube anymore. Those Everlast just said on Joe Rogan podcast, if you have a good contract, your stream plays, you can make you mad bucks. Mad bucks. And I know Everlast makes a lot of money from me because, I listen to House of Pain to this day. On a daily basis, I listen to House of Pain. And, so I think initially the record companies are for it, but then they realize if YouTube shuts off the spigot, they're not getting money from YouTube. Oh, shit. They get tens of millions of views on lame-ass artists, Yeah. A million views, a million views is, like 10 or 20 grand. At least it was in 2016. Yeah. What's 10? Now you're starting real money. Now you're paying somebody's salary. So I think they realize, I think it collapsed for that reason.
Do you think it's because of, a lot of people are saying it's because of the amount of Edit Roger videos that he made? Not just 1 or 2. It's the fact that he made so many on it.
I don't believe any. I don't believe any of that. I don't believe because I think Mumkey's gonna drive himself crazy if he didn't do that. Twisted that. He got picked. That simple. Somebody saw him up there, didn't like him. Really? It's beyond, because you cannot objectively look at his content and even think that he's mildly suggesting that genocide is even amusing. It's not, the genocide is amusing. Elliot Rodgers is amusing, or suggesting that this is what he made. No, they're not. No, it's somebody got offended. It's just that simple. And one of those people is way up top on YouTube.
I'll tell you this. Before I even knew much about Mumkey, which was it might have been a year and a half ago. I don't know when he started. I didn't know Mumkey. I saw his videos around, and I honestly thought Mumkey was just some guy obsessed with school shooters. Because I didn't watch his videos. I only went off his... So at the time, I thought, oh, this fucking guy's obsessed with school shooters. And I just dismissed it. And then when I started watching it, I was like, oh, okay, this is clearly satire. So I got thinking, is there an air of people who don't watch it but thinks... And have been complaining to YouTube?
I could... Look, anything's possible. But if you fucking flag a video that's already privated, that's where you lose me on that fucking theory. You know? So, I mean, the third one was privated.
Yeah.
Wait, that was a targeted attack. You know,
there's
pure and simple.
a theory that has been going around. Well, I say it's been going around. A friend of mine thought about the whole Mumkey Jones thing, so I'm just going to say it is just a theory. But essentially, there was something that happened recently with Mumkey Jones. I'm not sure how long ago. I'm not 100% on the facts, but essentially there was a...
Asperger?
Yes, that's it. And about his girlfriend.
That he had something to do with it? I don't think he's that powerful.
Not him himself, but have you heard about what happened with his girlfriend and like the private Discord?
I was talking to him. I was talking to him about it offline.
Okay.
I just... That's tough for me to swallow because Asperger had, 2,000 subs?
Yeah. Right.
You know, I just can't believe it. No, the only way I could believe that is if that person knew somebody that's very powerful inside of YouTube. Yeah. And to be honest with you, I think if they did, they'd have more subs themselves.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm pretty sure there is a reason why we have so many 100K English commentators, because YouTube has an office in London. And let's just say when I was in London, I had people telling me that that's how it works.
Yes, I remember that.
Yeah.
I remember.
Yeah. Yeah, no names.
No names.
No names.
Fuckers are killing me.
So yeah,
it's juicy shit.
And then I had another famous English YouTuber tell me that he wasn't aware of that, but it made sense because somebody contacted him over there.
Right.
You know, so I'm pretty sure that England is watching English commentators, and maybe even looking out for him a little bit. You know.
Another question I had then is obviously somebody brought this up on the other server. Forgive me, I can't remember your name. Around the beginning of Baited, you had a lot of hassle and from a certain person. He was threatening to dox
he's gonna bring that up. Oh, I would have never thought that would come up again.
Yeah, I know
I was thinking about
so long, but I wanted.
Wait, he didn't dox me.
Right.
That's a misnomer.
Okay.
He but I guess I hate using this because it sounds like you're tapping. It did rise the level of harassment.
I was gonna say because you got to the point where even like Keemstar was on Baited on one of the early episodes, calling the guy, "You're a fucking loser. You know, you're jealous." Blah 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 blah. And then obviously you were threatening to phone the police as well. So I was just wondering like how far it again and like what was it all about?
I'll tell you. Interesting enough, Normie Tommy C, Hockey Tommy C, got a follow from David is Gaming HD, who was a rising commentator that had connections all the way to Great Under A. If I'm not mistaken, that came because of my relationship with Tommy NC 2010, right. And it was because of the Leafy video that he made on him, and I was very passionate about defending. It was my first attack on Leafy was before I knew GameStar, and it video got a lot of views and stuff, and I was furious over that. I just couldn't understand why nobody could see that he was because it started from another YouTuber, and Leafy commented in the video, and I wish I knew it. There's something with a ducky or something like that. I think the guy's. Quackity? I think he's still in the 100. No, it's not Quackity. Quackity's a great guy. And he went after Tommy first, and Leafy commented on it, and he made his now infamous, I'd say, direction-changing video on Tommy NC. That really is that's a big moment in history looking back. Yeah. And David hated Keem. David hated all the big commentators, so he flipped me a follow, right? And I went back to doing, after I stuck up for Tommy, I went back to doing all the stupid shit that I was always doing, holding 20 a stream or whatever. Yeah. And what happened was, I got in that sort of, it'd be funny to look at them now. How I met Keem was we got in a war over Tommy. He was sticking up for Leafy, and so we got into it in a video Twitter war, because I've never been afraid to use the video. And I think it's one of the reasons Keem has such a strong Twitter account. I mean, the video is very powerful. It gets you a lot of clicks. And that whole thing went through. And I guess David was rooting me on, and then, they approached me. They approached me and asked me to be a part of Baited, and David went berserk. Absolutely fucking berserk. You know, and because the way, and I even tried to tell him, like, the way it was presented to me was, I like the way you fight with me. I want you to fight with me that way online. I was like, yeah, I could do that, but it was very suspicious even then. I just thought I was being, whatever. But instead of people being happy for me, and like, look, I'm not going to let him off the hook. I'm not going to do this, that, and the other thing. Of course, I would change course eventually. Let me give you an idea. The hate that I got from joining Baited was 10 times worse than leaving Baited.
Well, people, I think, were on your side.
It doesn't even come close. The shit. I mean, I'm talking big futuristic cub calling me a sellout piece of shit.
Fuck.
You know, who the fuck are you? And then David like losing it. And what happens? You know me. If you swing at me, I swing back. And we ended up swinging, and you know, I got the better of David a few times, and he just couldn't deal with it. Then I started getting caught if I was flashing somebody's docs on my they obviously were flagging my site constantly, but for some reason they couldn't bring it down. I often think there's a bug in there. And they were trying to get me striked. And you know, Dave was pretty open about, you know, what he was doing. I would get claims from his that saying that I exposed his identity, and I'd have to fucking block them out. Right. And it was literally a constant full-scale war. And that was more stressful than anything I dealt with. Absolutely. And what happened was he started making threats and deleting them. I'll take you down. I went to the cops. You know, I got, you know, potentially thousands of dollars coming in. I'm unemployed, and this fucking prick thinks he's going to take it away from me. Oh no, and you know, we could easily. So when he fired back with me a meme, like, here's the thing: I have a real advantage over commentators because I can hit you back in under 12 hours, right? Quick, easy. I can play video, and when he went back and made that video on me or said something, I destroyed it. Absolutely fucking buried it. Then he's making copyright claims. He's doing all the shit that would fucking bury your career now. You know. Yeah. Then he's making and he really couldn't let it go. He couldn't let it go. And who was I? And look, this goes to what I said before. Who the fuck do you think you are? You have 1,000 subs. And now you're talking to Colossal's crazy. Who the fuck do you think you are? And I just kept like, look. I don't know whether Keem picked me to fuck me over, which I always been suspicious of, but he picked the right guy. I had been watching Keem for months at that point. I used to say to Real Talk, I want a piece of these guys. I'm a better debater. I'm a better arguer, and I'm fucking funnier than they are in most cases, right? And I think that even though I was a 1,000 sub YouTuber, he had no idea what he was dealing with, and he just. Because he was a commentator, and here's this fucking 39-year-old boomer, like smacking you around.
The boomer word.
Yeah. Like where do you get? But I always knew I could. If I ever got that, I said it. Real Talk will back me up. I always said if they gave me a shot, because I used to like the playground insults and the fights and stuff like that. Yeah. And this is what I mean by now. Like I look at things like content more oriented. Then it was just about winning the fight, you know, which is fun, which is great. Don't get me wrong. You know, I'm not against it, but that's all I looked at YouTube as. YouTube is so much more than that. And I wish if I had a better vision, I probably would have handled the Baited breakup a little better. Yeah. You know, instead of just getting them. And my warning was Nick Cash, and I didn't take it. Yeah. That was a warning, because that's when people started to see me. And who I am. You know, and so yeah, that was a really stressful situation. And then we did eventually work it out. I think it was in, it was, I wouldn't want to say November, and. He said to me, I think he offered to take a video down. I was like, I don't care if you take down the video, which he was shocked. Yeah. Like, leave it up. I've never talked to anybody to take down a video that's making fun of me. So what? And I just said, I forget what the bargain was. I will call off the horses if you do something for me. And he said, absolutely not. I was like, okay, then have fun. Because, you know, my fans were, you know, he was dealing with my fans and Keemstar fans at that point. It was difficult. It was hurting his channel, you know. And then he came back because he didn't want to show. Then he came back and said, okay, deal. And then I think I did the right thing. I went right up. I got right on Twitter and I said, the David fucking HD game war is over. It's done with. You know what? Everybody makes mistakes, even though I was still furious with him at the time because he just harassed me for months. Yeah. You know? And he's a good guy, and we just got off on the wrong foot. And that was probably true, but I didn't say it when I didn't mean it when I said it. Yeah. I just wanted it. I just wanted the whole thing over with. So he tapped out, and I said he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I think it gave him a fresh start. I don't know what's happened since. I've actually talked to him a few times, and we are pretty cool. He didn't rub it in my face when Baited broke up, which, he told me. He would tell me, he's going to fuck you one day.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I know. Sure. Clown and I used to talk about this show ain't going to last forever. I was like, yeah, sure. Yeah, but that's the way it ended. And then also, it's kind of a shame because David broke stories before a lot of people did. He actually, the stuff on H3, he had a habit of breaking stuff, and people would get it months later and run with it and get 1 million views off of it. I don't know what happened to David. I don't wish him ill. He actually came. I actually came to his defense, or he came to my defense in September 2000, something over H3, that H3 had broken the story, that David actually broke the story and not somebody else. Yeah. I forget what it was. So but he keeps on getting his Twitter deleted. David doesn't take slights very well.
Yeah.
And what happens is he loses control. And he doesn't. It's not a matter of just taking an L. You don't have to take an L if you don't want to. Yeah. It's just a matter of that revenge thing has to be fulfilled, and it's a really bad habit to have. Believe me, I've dealt with it.
Tie the strings.
Yeah, it's difficult, but I'm kind of glad, and he didn't rub it in my face. The one thing that was impressed with me when he said, I just wrote him, "You were right," because he hadn't said anything in a couple of days after the thing fell apart, and he said something, "I'm really sorry, man." So that was the way it ended. So I mean, we're cool, and if David ever wanted to talk to me again, I have no problem with it.
Yeah.
Cool.
But that's the way I felt back then. That's the way I looked at it back then.
All right, we'll take one more question each. Because we can.
I want to keep going. My life's still up. I want to keep going.
Let's fucking keep going.
I want to keep going. I'm having a good time.
Good.
Right.
Great. I'm glad, man. Right, okay. Deckard, do you want to start?
So, Tommy, you're good friends with Colossal and Dead on Dave. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
But what is it that you hate or you're annoyed with about Colossal and about Dead on Dave?
Well, Colossal's easy. He doesn't do this professionally, and he doesn't take it professionally. That's like the thing is, Colossal's all business. It's something about his personality that I even find mildly annoying. It's that I guess his lack of commitment to Catch 33 would annoy me.
Yeah.
But even Baited. I mean, just disappearing for weeks on end, not taking it like a job. That's my biggest problem with Colossal. But one of the things about life is you have friends and they're all going to do shit that annoys you and stuff like that. But I accept him for who he is, and I think he accepts. I have plenty of flaws. I've never marched around this platform like I'm a super great guy or perfect or someone to emulate. That would his lack of business sense. I think Keem would probably answer the same question. I think he would answer similar because there's so much. I could see it with Keem League too. There was so much frustration, and there was so much, he had so much potential. Even when my conversations with Leafy, it does feel like wasted potential. But you know what? If Clown doesn't want to make videos, he don't fucking got it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
If Clown only wants to do podcasts or play poker or whatever, he doesn't have to. And it was difficult for me to accept that during Baited and certainly in Catch 33 when I wanted to win. But it wasn't really it wasn't really ever like that for him. I was irritated that he went back. I guess that is. But I mean, I
was going to ask you that.
Clown's been good. Clown's done good by me, and I think I've done good by him as well. So has he pissed me off? Have we got in an argument? One thing got so serious last year, I'm not going to go into what it is. He's like, look, if you're going to talk to me that way, don't fucking call me again. That's how close it got at one point. Yeah.
You're not going to give us a clue what it was about?
No, that's too personal. No, sorry. Okay. But, it got there. But despite, you can't ask somebody to be, especially you can't go into business as somebody that doesn't want to be in business, right? And you can't ask somebody to be a friend to be something that they're not. At the end of the day, it's Oliver. And that's the guy I like. I like Oliver a lot, and he's done. Do I wish he did things different? Yeah, sure. But at the end of the day, do I really never want to never talk to him again? No. We shared something that few people on YouTube, no matter how big they get, shared, and I just don't want to lose that connection to him. I want to be old as fuck and checking out and saying goodbye. That's the way I feel about Clown.
What advice would you give me and Nuzgar, because we're doing a poker podcast with him?
Do it for fun.
Yeah, for fun.
Do it for fun.
Yeah. We're doing it for fun. Yeah,
that's my sort of outtake on it. To be honest,
don't bank. I would not suggest going into business with him.
Yeah.
Not that he's a bad, not that he'd screw your not that he would ever screw you. No. Oh God, no.
No, but I was thinking, is it good to hassle him? Like, come on, Colossal, we're going to do this. Or...
Yeah, probably. Yeah. That's something I never did. So yeah, I didn't really do that. So yeah, you should.
I'll have the balls. I don't give a fuck. Get me banned off the server, boys.
You guys seem like you're pretty tight though when we played poker tonight. So yeah. Well, he didn't say this. Like, Tommy, just call me and yell at me. I'm like, dude, you're this big YouTube star and your fans hate me already, and I don't want to see like who it always comes down to who the fuck are you, and being seen that way, really, bothers me. But look, you're saying like what irritates me. Okay, those are things that irritated me about him. Again, I'm not jumping on him. Fucking podcasts break up, things don't work out, stuff changed. Yeah. Hosts have changed on Shot from the Point. People have left, gotten fired, quit. We've had all. That's just life, man. I would rather be. I don't want to go into business with Colossal, but I'd much rather be his friend for the rest of his life than. I really don't want to be. I want there to. I only got I'm halfway around the track, boys. It's half over for me, and that's quite literal. Unless I see 80.
Uncle Tommy.
Yeah, I don't. I have too many people in my past that I would just love to call up right now and say, hey, and I don't have that. I don't want that with Clown if possible.
Yeah.
I don't mind bringing up the old stip. I'm going to tell the truth, but it's not. I just, that shit's legendary. If YouTube goes away, I think it'll still be remembered. And the fact that I was lucky enough to be a small part of it, I'll always appreciate it. I don't want a fucking like John Lennon McCarthy thing where nobody's talking to each other. I don't want that.
I don't think you have that. Obviously, like anytime you want to come on, and obviously we're going to play poker again, I'm sure. But like, it's great. I have
good stuff. He beat me tonight. That sucks. I think I got a little tie. I think I got a little boomer tire at the end there.
He won $150. Everyone,
he did.
Little fucker.
I just want to point out that I keep finishing in second place, and if I still, whether I win money or not, it makes me a better poker player.
Yeah. We might have to start doing it where second and third place win a bit.
No. That's the only way to. The way you guys play, it's not with the antes and the way you guys play the blinds. It's better to do it the way you're.
Okay.
If you're gonna do what? If you're gonna, you can do second, third, and then you're gonna have to put in $20 a piece, and then you're gonna have to do blinds the proper way.
Yeah.
No antes, and then you have to time the when the blinds go up. You're gonna have to get you're gonna have to get a timer if you want.
Yeah, we don't play real poker. We play the most fucking scuffed poker in the world. Everything's fucked. People just chucking chips in. People just betting whatever.
The Scuff Poker podcast. That's pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. There we go.
SPP.
Scuff Poker podcast. I like that.
I've got a question from somebody in the server. I posted a little message saying, "Does anyone have a question for Tommy?" Now, his question was, Tommy, what influenced you to join the army when you did, and do you have any regrets joining it when you did?
None at all. Nice. I miss it every day. I it's the only job I ever fucking had that I couldn't wait to get up the next day. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it to you. The camaraderie is addictive. It's really, really addictive. You ever wonder why guys join the mafia and don't want to leave?
Yeah,
it's the camaraderie and the serious and the more serious thing that you're doing. Like if it really matters, especially if it's like life and death, exactly. Not that I ever got to that level, I should say, but if you're in the mob or something, like that's the most addictive part.
Yeah,
I heard Michael Francis say that. He was the highest earning gangster that ever lived in La Cosa Nostra, and he said, "I don't miss the mob because it was he became like a born again Christian,
right?"
And he says, "I don't miss anything that I did. I was an evil person, but boy, do I miss the boys and the camaraderie.
Yeah.
Do I miss the day when we did a big score, we made a lot of money, we sat around playing cards and chasing women all night." He goes, "Oh yeah, I miss that." And I know exactly what he's talking about. It's the spoils of being a soldier. So no, I don't regret a single thing. My impetus for joining probably wasn't that honorable. to be perfectly honest with you. And it took a couple years. I wanted to join day 2000, September 12th, 2012. And I had this beautiful Italian girlfriend. And she said, you go, I'm gone. And today means that I should have fucking known what I know now. I was like, okay, bitch, see ya. I'm going to Germany. But I loved her terribly. And I didn't do it. And a couple things. There was like a local sort of depression economically after 9/11, and it did affect me. I was in the I was dial-up tech, and then the other problem was the 56K modems were going the way of the I don't know, the fucking 8-tracks and shit, and phonographs, and that was going in. So you add that on, and I remember my mind would wander when I was at work, and I would think about the military, and I would think about I'm the only family member. Like when shit went down with Lusitania, Thomas Callahan the first was 18 and he went. When Pearl Harbor happened, they went. Yeah. All right. Now Gulf War I was only 15. Gulf War I, and that was more of that was an offensive action rather than a defensive action. This was a defensive action, and am I going to be the first Tom that didn't do this? And I kept thinking, and then that on top of the economic pressure, on top of my craft, for lack of a better word, just dying. Well, what ended up happening is she broke up with me because I lost my jobs. They went away. I got laid off. Wow. I got laid off. I finished up. I had this great job with AT&T WorldNet, and it just went by the wayside. And it happens. I'm not blaming her, but it happens when you lose your job and you have to drive a cab and all that stuff. You're less attractive than you were when you had the world in front of you.
Goddamn gold digger.
And yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that. No, I wouldn't say it. Some of it was me not getting off my ass and trying harder. I'll be honest, but it was a combination of depression and not depression like, oh my God, I can't get up. Like just not liking what I was doing. I had worked so hard to get this job and I didn't really like it. And I wouldn't even tell myself that because, I was so lucky to have it in the first place with the education that I had. And, but it just eventually, and then she saw me not really doing anything and she split, and it was a good move.
She folded,
and then when she was gone, and then I remember the moment it happened. Oh God, Jesus Christ, the name escapes me right now. There's a famous football player, and I'm not a huge NFL fan. I'm not a huge NFL fan. His name is Pat Tillman, right? And he was a NFL Pro Bowler, All-Star, right? He fucking dropped his job and became a private and joined the Rangers. Yeah. He also got killed in Afghanistan by friendly fire.
Oh, fucking hell.
And I remember when I was sitting in the Irish pub in Florence, New Jersey, when it was still there, and I was like, you're driving a fucking cab. You're 27 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you? You should have went when you're 24, when you're still young enough, So it became, when I say it was less honorable, is like, I'm going nowhere. My girlfriend's gone. I'm just putting on weight, sitting in this fucking bar where I get free drinks. Like, it's time to make a change. I had to move back with my parents. I was literally becoming a townie. And with no future. And I was just like, why don't you just pull the trigger on something for once? And Monica ain't gonna leave you because she's gone. You know? And so it was a combination of, I think that's what I should have been doing. I should have followed my heart. And I was broke. I was broke. So no regrets, none at all. If I could do it again, I tell you something, I'm not a spiritual person, but I'm almost like jealous of Hindus now because there's a possibility if they're right, they can come back and be in the army again.
Yeah, we're right. That's the Hindus, man.
That's how strongly I feel about the army. I wish I could do it again. I look at young guys, well, you could be in the army now. Isn't that great? That's the way I see it now. So no regrets at all. The life experience is everything. And being a part of a historic moment in history, actually being on the ground and changing, coming to the conclusion we didn't belong here. That was, but I've never had regret for joining for a minute. I got screwed like a lot of guys did, and it's just like clerical and just the basic army bullshit. Yeah. But the whole experience completely, Dave would say the same thing, I think. And Dave got hurt. Jesus Christ, I can't imagine my life without it.
Yeah.
I think I'd be a real lame asshole.
Well, speaking of camaraderie, do you feel that it's almost similar with the YouTube? Like, you're part of the NCO group chat, and there seems to be a lot of camaraderie in that with all these YouTube creators sort of thing. Mm-hmm. Do you feel the same way, sort of? Or...
About the NCO? Here's the thing about the NCO. I'm so much older than those guys, and I do not... Because the way Baited broke up, because I constantly have people looking to screw me, and that's not just paranoia, that's just facts. That's reality. I have people looking to fuck me up. I mean, there's still that element of YouTube out there where you're just looking to fuck people up.
Yeah.
I haven't probably worked with. They haven't asked me. I think because they're afraid of me, and I haven't. I feel like it comes off desperation to ask them. Right. So there's not a lot of camaraderie in there. But that being said, as a member, I'm so proud of the Right Opinion and what he's done. I'm so proud of Wavy Webster.
Yeah,
Justin was kind of already on his way up. My favorite commentator on Earth, Willie Mack Show, is in the NCO.
Yeah.
But I don't. If they asked me, it's done, right? Yeah. But I haven't. I'm a little weird. I feel a little strange about reaching out to them. Sometimes
I don't think you should, to be honest.
No, I don't think anyone ever thinks of your age in regards to like YouTube creation.
If you reached out, I bet you, they would fucking.
But if they asked me, they'd say like, Tears of Fire asked me to do something recently. Oh shit, I have to get back to that. See, there you go. There's a problem.
Nice reminder.
And he's a young kid, and he's also a big fan of mine too. I see him in a lot of chats. I would do it. I don't know if it's them or me. I don't want to seem as desperate, and maybe they don't want to ask me because I'm afraid to yell at them. I don't know.
I wouldn't. I mean, I reached out to you.
But I'm well, Deckard, me and you go back a bit.
True.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. I'm more comfortable with guys I know.
Yeah.
And I knew Willie Mack before he was NCO. It's also like, this isn't an insult. A lot of them are what I call grandstand commentators.
Yeah.
That sort of English sort of, Look, I root for everybody in there. I want to. That's not my bag. Exposed videos are not my bag. I don't know how they could use me, but I'd sure like to work with. I would like somebody to ask me in there, no matter where they are, just like to work with them or collab with them or something. But it's just such an uncomfortable thing for me to bring up.
Yeah, I sort of
because they know that they know I'm paying my bills this way because it's like, oh, here's Tommy, but. And there's certain guys I would ask for favors. Like, I probably feel comfortable asking Justin Wang for a favor at this point. Yeah. I certainly could ask Clown, Willie Mack,
Nerd City.
Willie. I could ask. Even like guys that aren't like Inapper. Who else was on? Who else had exploded in the NCO recently? Oh, he's a fucking funny guy. I interviewed him for Christ's sakes. What the hell's wrong with me?
Wait, who are you talking about?
The Englishman. Real funny, chubby guy. Just did that thing with that blowjob fucking joke with Alex. What the fuck is his name?
Wait,
I forgot his name already.
James Marriott. James Marriott.
Yeah, James Marriott. James Marriott. I love the changes. I knew James Marriott was going to explode.
Yeah,
I was sure of it. So I've seen all these guys explode. And by the way, this was the plan. Like, I'm going to put guys together. They're going to collab. And I've interviewed some of these guys before they explode. So that was kind of my job to sort of get them going, because as we say on Shot from the Point, it starts here. And let me tell you something. I got tons of guys that had 10,000 subs that were on my show that are fucking 100K and up now.
Yeah.
So it does start on Shot from the Point. It's kind of the first level you go to. So I think that's my job. He'll come over. We interview this guy. We interview that guy. And I'm happy to do that. Wavy Webster, there's another guy. So I'm super proud to be kind of a small part of it, but I would say a small part of it, but I do put in my tag, and I am proud of those guys. Black Wolf Company exploded
with the Sniper
recently.
Wolf video.
That's so great. I'm so proud of them. I'm so grateful. Just because I root for the NCO doesn't mean I approve of all the content or something I take in.
Yeah. I'm the same.
I do definitely root, because I love the idea of commentators working together that are not under Keemstar.
Yes.
I love that idea.
Or the
that was the
brotherhood.
plan, and it worked. And it's, it isn't a brotherhood in the sense where anybody's pulling strings in there.
Yeah.
I feel comfortable in this group because it really is about collaboration. Yeah. And we have a dead set leader, and that what he says goes. I like that. I really like the right opinion commands a lot of respect, even if they're guys
bigger than him,
past him.
Yeah.
He commands respect, and that's the way it should be. He should always be the leader of this group. So that sense, it's more of like I'm in the NCO, but I'm like the old man in the background. Okay, get him, go get him, kid. And stuff like that. But I mean, yeah, it's like I often wonder if I could be reaching out a little more.
I think you could. I think I know what your worries are.
I'm just kind of worried about it.
I totally understand your worries, but I don't think anyone's going to think that way.
It's a great group of guys that have made it, that are in the middle more and are trying to make it. It really is good. Yeah. You're very, very lucky if you get picked as it's. To me, it's a prestigious group, and you're very lucky. And if Right Opinion comes to me and says you need to interview this guy, I think my next interview is going to be Duplex. I really like his stuff. Doplex, whatever. I don't fucking know. I'm an old guy. I really like. No, he's doing some good things. Bad time because I think he's going to blow up too. I don't.
Yeah, Willie Mack and Wade web surfs. They say he's going to get 100K in no time.
Oh yeah, I think he's a slam dunk 100K guy. Yeah, I love being a part of that. I love that. Even like when Nabber blew up, and Nabber's on NCO, but I felt like, well, I had this guy on like twice before he blew up. I fucking love that. I think it's great.
I've always avoided group chats like for the 2 years I was on YouTube, right? And then
bad move.
Yeah, no, it is. I found out
it's a bad move.
When Right Opinion invited me over, I was a bit hesitant. I was like, yeah. Like, but it's really fucking helped me out. Like, I've uploaded. When he tell you I was in,
I bet he said Tommy's in there, right?
Tommy's in there. I was like, let me in, boys.
Well, Deckard, you're one of the better content creators I know, but you take breaks for long periods of time.
Yeah,
because you're a working dude. I mean, I love your work. It's great satire, and there's not enough satire guys on there. It's like anti. Well, I'm starting to think like with the deletion of Mumpy Jones, and I guess my lack of success was to get to the point. There's not too many guys doing satire, period. And I don't think it's. I mean, you get on there like. Another friend of mine, like John Scream, who does this, he has a YouTube.
Yeah, he's got satirical.
He's fucking amazing YouTuber. Yeah. And it's like, he did a thing where me and Scares fell in love and we went to an island or some more shit like that. And like people write in the comments, that's not true.
Just don't fucking get it.
Or like, I'm playing a drug addicted alcoholic newsman that got kicked out of the big leagues and had to come down to YouTube. And I hear, Tommy, you're such a fucking drunk.
Oh my god!
Like it's an act. There really isn't. Yeah, because it's reality TV. I think at the end of the day, it got so popular in the 2000s. Like everything's got to be sort of reality based, and the more it's reality based, the more bullshit it is. And it's like, that was another one. Get to the point. Like I was so content oriented for such a long period of time, and I wanted to do stuff other than just be the big mouth, or just be. Keemstar's, main enemy, main bug that he couldn't squish. I wanted to do more than that. And I accomplished it. I learned a lot from it. But it makes me think like, oh, wow, get to the point he never had a chance in the fucking world. Because it's satire.
Yeah.
Mumpy's the greatest YouTuber of all time.
Yeah.
He got 100K out of it. And I think that's going to be trouble for you as well.
Yeah, it is.
I'm
branching out, that's why.
I wouldn't have been a bit shocked. Is because you did the dies. Unfortunately, Tommy C dies in the army, right? If somebody said to you that was really fucked up,
I know.
You said Tommy. Yeah, it wouldn't shock me at all. It's mind-boggling, like how satire is just taking such a beating. It's horrible, and I can't blame Susan Majicki for that. I have to blame the YouTube fans for that.
Yeah.
There's no other way around it.
I mean, they are just like a bunch of sheep. I mean, the whole thing about like Leafy and the content cop. Yeah, fuck off. But
really, that taught me something too.
Yeah,
boy,
they turned on him, and it was so fucking insane to see what happened after that content cop. I know a lot of people say that's not the reason why he quit.
That stuff doesn't happen. That stuff doesn't happen much anymore.
No, I think
it really was unique to 2016, early 17.
2016
when the Paul brothers came. The only place it happens is the IBS community, which is a real fucking shit show. Like it's for real. It's like we're destroying careers. We're open about it. Anybody can go at any time.
Yeah. What did you personally think is the golden age of YouTube then? Was it when, obviously, 2016, because that was when you rose to fame, or
that's what I think.
Yeah.
That's what I think, 2016, man.
Well, everybody says 2016. There's such a longing for it. And Emp Lemon proved that. You know, there was other guys putting Leafy videos out there, but there was he never left the conversation. I noticed 2017, 2008, before Implement videos and you know the whatever happened to Leafy videos came out. There was always there was always seemed to be a longing for it. Obviously the apocalypse has forever changed the platform, and it seems to be sort of it just isn't as good. You know, and there's also game. You know, I don't know what I really. You know what? I'm going to say this. I don't know. No, I haven't been in YouTube long enough to make that distinction. That's why I'm going to answer that.
I mean, Leafy, just his sort of like meteoric rise to like one of the top subscribers at the time, especially in 2016. I mean, that gave rise to loads of channels having a chance. Obviously, the whole thing when the comedy made. I mean, all the drama pretty much that year was kind of surrounded him. The H3H3 drama with Leafy, that obviously pushed H3H3 a lot.
And Tommy,
that he gained so many subs. That's when I first noticed H3H3.
I think he lost subs as well when Leafy made a response video. Then H3 started losing subs.
Yeah, but it was like that insane. That was insane, and the whole like I said, Tommy NC. Obviously that drama that led to you and obviously Keemstar getting together and starting Baited. I mean,
I know everything Tommy and C if you really think about it. You know, it's just a sheer happenstance. But I mean,
in extension,
if I'm not friends with Tommy and C, nothing happens.
In extension, though,
weird.
Leafy as well, as he was sort of like the catalyst that year of all the drama going off.
If he didn't do that on Tommy.
In a sense,
so much drama surrounded him, and he made that year interesting.
And kids, remember, to become YouTube famous is complete fucking luck.
Yes.
I can say with confidence and not any self-deprecating deprecation that Detective Deckard is a much better YouTuber than I could ever hope to be. And I say that actually sincerely. It's titles, thumbnails, and fucking where you're at and where you're talented. Oh, you're a real talented guy. You know, it has nothing to do with that. I mean, you know, and I hear Keem say things like, you know, it's if your content was good, you get views. That's bullshit. He knows it. No, it's getting into that precious recommended. That's it.
Yeah, it's who you know, the right place and the right time. Because honestly, there's so many different people who have great content.
Look at the NCO. Look at the NCO. Look at the NCO. They know the people, right place, right time. They're exchanging notes. They're talking about thumbnails. They're working with the guy making them thumbnails. You can't do this alone.
Exactly.
Well, speaking of luck, there's a guy called Fainted who 2 weeks ago had 500 subs and today has over 200k because he made a video called The Dark Side of Pokimane.
No kidding. Good for him.
Hell.
And he basically he uses, it's a Leafy style video. It's CS:GO surfing.
Really?
Yeah, and he commentates. So it's like,
Jesus Christ.
There's a lust for Leafy style videos, I think.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think there is. I don't know if I think people miss Leafy's bowls.
Yeah.
Because you really, everybody knew to themselves. You know, I don't everybody knew to themselves.
People, you know, they went after the content cop. I think a lot of people took Leafy as sort of like a guilty pleasure. And then when they were called out on like, why are they watching his content? That's when they were like, they felt quite guilty about it. And they were like, damn, I better unsubscribe. And I think that's why he got a lot of hate. Because a lot of people, they'll watch something and even if it's like the most fucked thing ever, they'll find it entertaining, they'll laugh about it, and do you know what I mean? Especially like the whole thing about it making fun of autism. Deep down, people love that sort of morbid humor. But then when they were called out on it in Ida's video, that's when they started feeling shame.
That is the first. I don't know if I believe that, but that is a very interesting way to look at it. So you're saying there was collective self-guilt?
Yeah.
Like
guilt? I think they were too young. I think they were too young to be guilt.
Sort of like, I think it was like they didn't realize how fucked the stuff they were laughing at actually was. Right. And once they were called out on it, they were like, damn.
See, I disagree. Leafy made too many enemies within the community.
Yeah.
Outside. That had nothing to do with any of his videos. I think that's what really collapsed for him. And I think he suffered from a lot of what I suffered from. You know, I just have, like, they have a saying in the Army, do what your rank can handle. That, you know, in December of 2016, I didn't think anybody'd take me. You know, not an argument, not anything. I'll beat Keemstar, no problem with my 30K.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think, and I remember seeing how confident he was when he had our big exchange, and then how he was sort of crying and like, I picked this guy up and I can't believe he stabbed me in the back.
Yeah.
And just almost seeing the smirk. I'm like, I remember thinking, I think he's got me.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose this one.
Yeah.
I'm going to lose this one. I'm going to lose this round at very least. And that was experience. Yeah. That was experience. If I was smarter,
he knows how to manipulate the audience.
Yes, he did. He did, and he did. And I also knew I'm not willing to do that.
Yeah.
I'm not. That's
well,
that. Oh well, I lose if I do that. I lose shot from the point.
Well,
and the only reason I had anything left and didn't get chased off the internet is because I kept that going. If I ever started manipulating again, the people that hung on for the last 2 years would leave tomorrow.
Yeah.
Because that's my selling point. Even though it's niche, it's my selling point at the end of the day. It gives me something. It keeps it keeps the money coming in.
Yeah.
Because once I go to like real YouTuber, that's the end of my thing. I might as well just. Then I could really tap out. I could have handled that better. I could have just I could have done the same thing to him. I could have come back as like, I never asked for money and donations, which was true. Donations for the beginning of my stream, which was true. I think I've asked 2 times since then. Usually when I come back from vacation or something like that, I've been gone for a week, to kind of juice them. And I could go back to some things I said and with the feed my family and all that other stuff. I said, he just simply isn't true. He just wants somebody to take the blame. And you know what, Keem, if that's what you have to have, that's what you have to have. And we'll go on and I'll do our cast. That probably would have been smarter. But shot from the point wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
It would have been the never-ending battle. So, I mean, there's 2 ways to look at it. I probably could have made more money, maybe only short term, but it also created this sort of niche audience that I've managed to keep.
And your audience is pretty impressive. Like, a lot of them, they're really loyal guys, and they come in to tune into every stream you put out.
Yeah.
Some people come in and out. There are a few guys that have been there from the very beginning. There are 2 guys. I'll say them. They'll say their fucking names, right? Leaping Lizard and Sleeping Angels. They're hockey guys that barely miss a stream. They're hockey. I follow them on Twitter. They barely miss a stream, and they made the transition from hockey to what I was doing and never fucking
so they
left.
were like...
And I probably shouldn't say this. Maybe they have a lot more power over me, because if they say something to me, I'm a lot more. I'm because that's what you want.
Yeah.
That's how you survive.
Yeah,
that's how you survive.
Leaping Lizard.
You
got the power.
When there are fans that have left, and I don't see them in the chats anymore. I go, ugh. If they did that, I would really be devastated. If they left, I'd be really devastated. People come and go. It's a circle. Yeah. It's a circle. Some people come back and they're stronger than they were before.
You put them on the spot now.
But there are a few fans that, like, if Sleeping Angels isn't going to comment at least in the chat or hit me up on Twitter, because I'm sure they don't watch absolutely everyone. Yeah,
exactly.
But those guys were there from hockey on. And they followed me all through. They must know everything. They could be shot from the point historians. They're symbols of what I've created. My audience, I think, it's never been. It's at very least 1,000 people that are fucking diehards. Because the minimum, I never go under 1,000. So that's my minimum if I have a bad. Because even if I do like Q&A, Tommy C, which is not going to get you a lot of hits, I'm hitting 1,000, no doubt. That's right. So I have 1,000 people that are fucking into it. I have 2,000 that catch most episodes, and then I have the halfway fans, so anywhere 3 and up, and I think that 3 and up probably would get me in the higher levels to recommendeds, really and stuff like that. So so that's
not even Colossal gets that on Twitch. He doesn't get.
Oh yeah,
he gets like 600 when he streams. Yeah,
and then you just hope they engage enough, because everything's engagement. Yeah. That's why they tell you to like. I always say this, why do YouTubers tell you to hit the like button? What the fuck do they care?
Yeah.
No, it counts.
Yeah,
it does me. Every comment, everything. That's like somebody said to me, oh man, I'm only 15, I can't donate. Watch a fucking video. And then click on another video after that's mine on the same channel. That's mine afterwards. That's actually worth more if enough people do it than a donation.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you click on it, you've done your part. If you can't donate for it, that's more than enough to support it. Don't stop donating, but
do both. Donate $5 and also do that.
Well, you could do that. Hey, the more the merrier. But what I'm saying is, like, if you can't, like, I had somebody said, "Hey, buddy, my girlfriend just lost her job, and they're pretty big Patreon donators. Like, he can't donate anymore. That's like legit. Yeah. It's like legit, and he's already done so much. Self-Fight, by the way, that's his name. He's been there since Baited. He said, I was like, no, dude, just watch. Yeah. Just watch. Yeah. You know, just watch and go to that. Because it's like the click-through ratio is a lot easier for a guy that does a 10-minute or 7-minute video because you could go to the next one, check it out. Whereas Shot from the Point's an event. It's time you take out of your day. You know, you're not going to watch another one back to back. It's an hour. You know, so like streams are always kind of a little mistreated by promotion in there. So when I do get something in the promoted, you know, in the recommended, it's like the Onision video last May, it really struck a chord with people. Yeah. You know, it really got, because that means they were just in there the whole time. Because look, it's a radio show. You're not going to hold everybody the whole time. So that's why it's tougher to get the recommendeds. But going into the next video is really, that's how you can help your content creators with if you feel like donating but can't. That's the best way to do it. Watch your stuff, like, share, and say something. Yeah. No, don't spam. Just go, oh, this comment because I love Tommy. No, say something. Engage in the threads. That's how you can support it's worth more than gold. That's how to support the show.
Support your creators, guys. Well, speaking of Shot from the Point, I was going to ask about Shot from the Point News, which you had to shut down. And I was going to ask...
No, let's get to the point.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, get to the point news.
Get to the point, yeah.
Why exactly did you have to do that? I sort of know half of it, so...
That's another one that I don't want to answer.
Hardball questions, Tommy.
Yeah, you did say that. This one I'm going to have to dip out of a little bit.
Yeah, fair enough.
I blame Colossal's crazy. That was a hard thing to do.
Yes.
That was really difficult. It started affecting. I put too much into it, and I spent too much money on it for the results we were getting.
Right.
And I know when you went back but I want to make videos. I don't have time to make videos like other commentators because I have to put shows together.
Yeah.
I have to stream. I'm a streamer. I'm not really a YouTuber. I'm a streamer. You know, I'm a streaming YouTuber. Does talk shows, whatever. But I'm not really a YouTuber. I love making videos. I don't know if you know that. I really do. I'm not that bad at it either.
No, you did your first commentary video, that was pretty good.
Yeah. I'm pretty fucking good, dude.
Yeah.
But I'm certainly not a master. I'm not like Clown or anything.
But for your first video, that was pretty fucking good.
That was pretty cool. Well, I mean, if you want to think about it, the Get the Points were all, you know, they were all, some of them were, the Get the Point was my first commentary video, and then the response to some idiot that said I shot from the point because I wanted more money on Baited, that whole fucking horse shit. That, I cut that. I destroyed that fucking bullshit. I mean, I even saw some people in his comments saying something like, you know, I hate Tommy to death, but this is complete and utter bullshit. You know, you made this shit up. You know, yeah.
I mean, you had a team, so that must have been hard.
Well, it was a lot of miscommunications. It was a lot of the same stuff that we had. We had to cancel a show this week because of a Shot from the Point news for a miscommunication, and we really had to put them out. Although nowadays, you had to get them out every 3 or 4 days, and we couldn't do it. And you know, I had to count on other people because, like, you know, I have a son, and you know, I have a daughter. Yeah. You know, I'm balancing that. I'm kind of a house husband / YouTuber. And streamer, and it was just too much, and I needed support. I needed more support from my staff, and it was a lot to ask of them because they weren't pros. They weren't doing it for a living. Yeah. It was a hell of a lot to ask from them, and I'm not putting all the blame on them. And one of them is taking off right now. She's just about to pass me.
Yeah,
Illuminati.
I know.
Sarah J. Warren, and you know what? But maybe that's my fault. Maybe it isn't. Maybe it's their fault. Maybe it's collectively. Maybe it's a little too ambitious. I still believe the fact that it was satire made it dead in the fucking water anyway. Yeah. It was just dead in the water at that point. But I think a combination of all those things. But let me put this caveat in there. The people I working with didn't have all day to sit around and make fucking videos. I did. So in fairness to them, but I did need more support from my staff, and I didn't get it, not because they're bad people, not because they're all irresponsible. It is because I was asking more of them than they could give, because people have a habit. When your world is like 9 to 5, you look at everybody else as being 9 to 5. Well, my 9 to 5, I get up at 6 o'clock, 6 or 7 every day. and then I go to I mean, other people don't do it. They go to fucking work. So I mean, I wanted him to look at like, but I couldn't expect that, and it probably really wasn't fair.
Yeah.
It in that sense, but you could also say they agreed to it as well.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about Get to the Point. Learned a lot about making videos. So there is nothing I didn't get to the point. He taught me. That gave birth to the news team, which is my strongest weapon right now. Yeah. That gave birth to it. It gave me more leadership. I'm pretty good with leadership, right? It gave me more leadership skills. It made me learn to use Discord in a more effective manner, right? It gave birth to new types of shots on the point shows, and it also. What I didn't have, I always had that friendship with Dave, where I would bounce over to Dave, and Dave left Germany. It gave me a place where I don't want to use the word safe. I hate that. It put me around other people that were 100%. They're like ride or die guys around me that I needed, that I probably always needed. That understood the show, they understood the history, and they actually went through the dramas with me. And it created a really, really tight knit group. So no Get to the Point. I don't think I'm as good as I am now. And now, after a couple of months went by, we put it down. Now we do at least one a week. Sometimes we do a surprise in the middle of the week, and it's when I get time. So I can make videos when I get time. Right. And I still have that sort of Get to the Point now. It was just too much to ask. So if it's once a week, we get a video out once a week. It's we're still trying to get in that recommended. We're still in that race. It's like we're a new channel, and we're still in that race, and I still get to make videos. That was the worst part. I was like, I guess just gonna live off Shop at the Point rest of my life. I guess that's it, or the rest as long as it lasts, not the rest of my life. I'm sure it's gonna end in one day. Let me be realistic here. It Get to the Point had to be a learning experience. And it produced Shop at the Point News, which I think is pretty fucking good. And I think one day it's going to hit the recommendeds, and I think one day it's going to benefit, especially Willie Mack. I think it's going to, the people that are in or want to be a part of it, send me a fucking demo, right? If you want to be in, it's really, like the NCO's prestigious, so's my crew. To crack in there, even as a news guy, somebody that posts, you got to crack, and you got to impress me, you got to get in there, you got to earn trust. Nick DiOrio took him a year to get in crack that crew, So it's a club that you want to get into, and I love the fact that I can go in the Shop at the Point news chat and I have people. It feels like a working relationship, And we finally got there. I think it was tough to ask people I barely knew, even if they had like small YouTube channels, to do the same thing. I think it was just a little too much to ask, and Get to the Point failed, and I think Shop on the Point News is afloat and succeeding, but we got to hit the magic number. We got to get a couple of videos in the recommendeds, and we have to earn people's trust. Yeah. So we switched the format from getting the news to be the most entertaining news show. We're not just putting up clips and laughing at them. We're doing other stuff. We're doing bits. We're doing all sorts of stuff. Yeah. And I'm always looking for new talent, but you got to impress me. Just because I want to be on, I ain't gonna do it. No.
Nuzgar,
show me something. What do you want me to do? What do you want me to do?
Send in
what do you want me to do? I want you to show me something. Show me something. Give me an idea. Another thing is with Shop on the Point News, it's really cool because I don't care what background you use. You just do the best. Just make sure you have the beginning and the end, and do your thing in the beginning. Do it great. Look at Willie Mack's videos are like the best videos we have on there. And I think they have a lot of replay value as well. Yeah. And like I said, we're not just putting up Jake Paul fucking picking his nose or running across the street trying to get hit by a car. There's more commentary there. There's more gags there. There's more funny there. We pretty much switched from being informative to just the best video we can put out. And I want to continue that because I think that has a chance, and I can do it on a schedule. I can do it when I want to do it, And I am looking for more people because we fucked something up this week. So
go for it, let's go.
Don't stop.
Well, all right, wait.
You can do it. No,
send me
something. All Show me something.
Do you want to do just one last question each from me and Nuzgar? Because we're on 1.5 hours, or do you want to carry on?
Is she still up? I hope so. I want to get laid. Yeah, all right. Go ahead. No, just keep. Let's go as long as you want.
Okay, all right.
I have a question again. It's back to beta, but it's only because a lot of the fans.
I don't care what you ask.
Okay.
I'm okay with the beta questions. As long as I don't get hammered on my phones about beta, that's all I care. I understand if I do like normal outside interviews, I have to talk about beta. There's no way around it. I don't care.
And the reason why I wanted to bring it up is because a lot of our people who watch the show are obviously fans of Clown, and they know you a lot from Baited mainly. I know somewhat of the story of how you actually joined, but is there anything you want to tell us about it? So I understand it all happened between drama between.
I don't have a lot of Clown fans.
Really?
I don't have a lot of Clown fans. Clown fans don't like me.
Really?
I think I took the blame for breaking up the podcast. Not necessarily the way Drummer 828 said I did it, because he flat out lied. But I think most Clown fans, I think the Clown fans that didn't like me, that went in and disliked that video and told them you literally made this shit up, right? Wow. Were Clown fans. I don't have a lot of Clown fans. You know, and Clown tells me that my fans are just ruthless to him. I thoroughly believe that where I went wrong in the PR department at the end of the Baited is pissing off Clown's fans.
Wow.
Keemstar fans were gone. That was the mistake. I expected them to support me in chat. I'm sure a lot of them, I'm a Clown fan, I fucking support you. I'm not talking to you, dude. You know, I think they're the ones that made me $30K for life. Yeah, I do that because I don't have a lot of Clown fans, and it's very uncomfortable when Clown comes in there and they just fuck with him. Now, he gets that a lot as it is because he's a big YouTube guy. But, I mean, I've just gotten, tons of messages, and because people that supported me, were angry that Catch 33 didn't work, and some of them blame Clown for it. I just told you before, it's not 100%. That was a part of it. Yeah. There was actually, I thought the linchpin was that we went for too much. It was too ambitious. Yeah. That's more so than Clown moving to Asia and stuff like that. It was just too ambitious. And that's not Vegas' fault. Let me be 100% clear.
Yeah.
But I think the reason I got stuck in the circumstance and made me niche was because Clown's fans see me as the guy that took away their entertainment.
That's quite surprising, because I always thought that you didn't get that much hate. Obviously, you did get a little bit, but I always thought you came off not on top, because obviously Baited still carried on, but you were in the moral high ground with it, and I thought you did.
That was the second most hate. That was the second most hate I ever.
Really?
That was the second most.
Was that because you were being the diplomat, and the El Clown's fans wanted you to be on his side, but you were sort of in between Keemstar and Colossal?
I think it's because I think you're onto something. Right church, wrong pew, as my father says. Yeah. It's because I took a side.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And once I take a side, then that balance of Baited is broken.
Yeah.
And that truly meant, I think everybody thought we were going to break off and get back up. But when I took a side, because I had to. You had to, yeah. I had to in that situation. And also, you keep in mind, there is a lot of pressure on me from the comments, from fans. Why don't you stick up for yourself? Why don't you do this? Butter, you suck. You just got lucky. Blah, 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 blah. I knew damn well I was always walking that line. Now, when Keem put me in a position to, when he comes to me, he's like, Clown wants more money. And he's really vague about this. Like, what? What are you talking about? Yeah. He wants more money. And it turned out that, you go watch the shows, so that wasn't exactly true. I was getting a bullshit story. YouTube was there. I'm Alex was in that fucking Discord call a lot. Right Opinion was in that Discord call. Even though they wanted me to do it, it's like a girl, They want you to talk about your feelings, and as soon as you do, you're like, wow, this guy's a fucking loser. Look at all the problems he has. That's why you never show your feelings to women too much. Maybe your wife, all right, but not when you're young and trying to pick up chicks or get a girlfriend or whatever. I think once they saw that, that was the death knell, and then then that means they were ready to blame Keem, and then I go on and make the ultimate mistake and bring up a private conversation between me and Keem to get it, because he said that he had to keep me from feeding my family. I was on fucking unemployment. I wasn't, it wasn't the end of the world. My wife wasn't working. He made it seem like he was poor, and I bit the hand that feed. Yeah. Then I come over the back well, what are those fucking broads you fucked? You said he fucked at those MLG events.
I remember
Once they saw that, that's my biggest mistake, if you want to call it that, right? Then I took a side, and then it's my fault.
Right.
So I get it. So I don't think look, I'm sure look, they might even like him. Clown makes some of the best videos on the platform. I was really worried about the second FouseyTube video. It exceeded all my fucking expectations. Yeah. And I got a preview of it, and I hated the preview, right?
Oh, did you? You hated the preview?
Yes, I got a preview of it.
Yeah, because I watched it as well. I saw the preview.
I fucking hated it.
Really?
I think this is, I was kind of worried, but boy, was I wrong. That's one of his best videos, period. You can make the argument the second one's 10 times better than the first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The preview had the fat joke, right, with the fat woman. That was the preview.
Yeah.
That
was No. I got like 5 minutes.
Oh, you got more than
I got like 10 minutes. I got like 5 or 10 minutes. It was sent to me personally. And then it's funny. I got fucking Nerd Cities. It was like the same week. I got a preview of Nerd Cities thing, and then. Well, unfortunately, Nerd City and I and a couple of my guys got in a big fight in the air, and that sucked.
Oh, I remember that.
He's like, oh God, he was one of my biggest Patreons, the most uncomfortable situations ever. And it was just over I think it just really came down to is like, we looked up at him as this big fucking holy YouTuber that's supposed to behave in a certain way, and he looked at us like, "Hey, I'm one of the guys." Like I could come in and say, "Shut the fuck up" first. No, you can't. You're a big. Maybe you could have done that 10 months ago when nobody knew who the fuck you were. Because by the way, Nerd City was a big fan before he blew up. Yeah. He was a huge fan, and by the way, he's been super supportive of me. And I don't always listen to him, and I think I don't always listen to him because there's things in my private life that I can't put the time in, and then because I still have to earn a certain amount of money from the stream. He wants me to just make videos. That's what he wants, just to make it short. I just can't do it under my financial shit, and I that was awful because he's a big Patreon of mine. He's a super support. He's so smart. He's so fucking smart, and he understands this stuff, and he really, really wants me to grow. He really thinks the world of me, and to have a big YouTuber, and then we had this situation which is really uncomfortable, which I don't think Nerd City's above criticism, neither Clown or anybody else. I don't think he has. And we had this real, and then my guys who are more defensive of me than I am, and it was just a really ugly situation.
I think Versts made it really worse than it could have been. Versts kind of went in a bit way too much.
Yeah, but he did tell him to shut up, and it's shot from the point.
Yeah, that's true.
But I didn't expect that either. I put the versus sign. I think that if it's anybody, it's myself. I put the versus sign with Diorio and him, and I was really just like, is Diorio what's Nerd City right about? What's he wrong about? And it turned into, and I saw a backstab, which really bugged me. Yeah. That I was a backstabber and stuff like that. But it was really just, I'm not afraid to criticize, people that are big supporters of me. And Nerd City's in that fucking, it's not like me going after you. That probably wouldn't be fair, right? But criticizing the stuff that he's putting out there, and we see things we did a criticize, and we thought we're not burying him. We didn't do a Cabos thing where I really go in there, we didn't say anything personal, and it just and then Verse was in there, and he told him to shut up, and then it's like, I can't look, Diorio, Verse, any of my guys, we agree on a lot of things, but I don't tell them what they have to think or say on the show.
Right.
It would ruin the whole environment. Yeah. But it did create a really uncomfortable situation. And I love Nerd City, and I appreciate everything he's done for me. And by the way, so do my people. I do have a little bit of a gang. My people really love him. It really missed his decision.
Did he have a bad day that day? Because he was unusually defensive. That was like... You were being fair on him.
If I had to guess, I'm a huge fan of his. He's fucking great. Yeah. He's up there with iDubbbz and Clown, no doubt. I've told him that. Yeah. He's up there with iDubbbz and Clown.
The quality of his videos are fucking insane.
And he's also fucking so smart too. He's ridiculously bright. I think, I don't know if we even covered it. The thing we were talking about was kind of fact checked by DeFranco.
Yeah,
and if I had to guess, I think that's what really pissed him off. And now he's going to me. I'm his guy. I'm a supporter of his, and I'm being critical. Like, he's like, cut me a fucking break, dude.
Yeah.
And he maybe he deserved one. I don't know. I was like, we didn't go that hard on you. We're just discussing, and it was awful. And then my guys are yelling at him, and fucking Diorio's making videos on him. It's like, oh God, it's got to. But cooler heads did prevail. Yeah. And it really made me feel awful when he said, I'll tell this story. This is awful. I said, dude, you can't talk to my guys like that and expect them not to come at you. It's shot from the point. But I thought I was one of the guys. And my heart fucking got crushed.
Yeah.
Heart got crushed. I was like, you're a mega power. You can't do that. You can't walk like that. He's like, you can't do that. All those guys are like 1,000 subs, 100 subs, you know, and you know, and stuff like that. It makes you look like you can't take criticism, which, by the way, he can.
Yeah.
And the fact that he had that emotional connection to my show and my people, and he really looked at it as a fan and not as a super rising star that's hanging out with iDubbbz and Keemstar and Max Mofo. That was crushing.
Yeah.
Crushing. Like, I really read this wrong.
Yeah. Holy
crap. You know, but we got it all. I think things are good. For the most part, he always answers DMs. Always. Nice. He's always on that. Yeah. But yeah, did it put a little strain on everybody? Yeah, sure. Because I can't tell my guys you can't make a video because I have a relationship with this person. That's bullshit. I'm not saying that scenario would never happen under all circumstances, especially if it's sensitive. But when it comes to content, no, I can't do that. You know, and he understands that now. And I'm glad that got over. I rather got that would have sucked not being Nerd City's friends.
Do you think it was just a case of he just forgot of the position he was in at the time? Because obviously,
I think that's exactly what it was. He forgot. He you know, and it's not because of a lack of self-awareness. It's because he's so humble.
Yeah.
It's because he's so humble.
That's really interesting because at the time I thought Nerd City can't take criticism. Literally, that's what I.
He's had a bad day. I think
but what you said about him thinking he was one of the guys, that fucking makes complete sense now.
It does. It was, dude, and he said that. I almost fucking, like, I don't cry too often. Like, I had to pull back a tear when he said that shit. Yeah. You know, like, oh my God, what am I doing to this guy? Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Like, what happened? And then I told my guys that we got to lay off a nerd now. Like, we said what we had to say, but like burying him is not the thing. Because at first he's like, you know, Endura's like, I got a video coming out to do it. I'm not telling you to stop, but like, let's keep this shit in perspective. You know, this might have been just a massive miscue on all of us, and there's no reason not to talk to you. Look, if we had a fight, and we do have arguments in the newsroom and stuff like that, or you know, I yell at people or something, and I have to apologize. You know, does anybody not want to really be friends?
No, exactly.
You know,
yeah.
I mean, it's like my fans that like fucking are angry with Colossal. All right, what am I gonna do? Not be his friend? You know, like there's some things more important than fucking YouTube, guys. Yeah. And that kind of shit is like, you know, and I want to be Nerd City's friend, and I want to get to know him more, and I want more relationships, especially Nerd City, because he's not a snake.
No.
You know, there's so many snakes. It's just they're all over the fucking place.
He was like a fan of Shot from the Point, like way before he was big, right? I remember.
I think before he had 1,000 subs.
Yeah. He was nobody.
Was in the chat all the fucking time.
Yeah.
Next thing I know, he's got a check mark. I'm like, where the fuck have you been? You know?
Now he's like,
Yeah, he exploded, man.
But yeah, that was uncomfortable. What you know, it's funny. I have a tendency to trail, as you guys say.
Yeah,
what was the question? What was the original question?
It was something to do. It was something to do about what he did. But
you called me
so
at a
much
good
more
time.
interesting.
You called you called me at a really good time.
Yeah.
The poker game was a good warm up.
Yeah.
Feels like we're all having a beer on a fucking table.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
But that's my experience on YouTube.
I think it's quite interesting, like the whole thing about because like you said, he didn't really realize that he was as big as he was, and I think it's to do with how YouTube fame really is that because he can definitely still go to the shop, get some food, whatever,
he's
go to
grounded.
restaurants.
He's really grounded.
But he'll never he's never going to really get noticed. He might get one or two on a very extremely rare occasion.
Yeah.
So fame probably doesn't get to your head.
I think it gets to people different ways. I get to way it got to me and Leafy, invincibility.
Yeah.
The way it got to him is a little lack of self-awareness.
Yeah.
So I think it affects people. E-fame affects people differently, probably depending on their personality type.
Yeah.
I've seen people with way less subs than Nerd City who have kind of got a bit of an ego out of it. So,
but I mean, just like watching what you have to say and sort of thing. That's what I mean. Like, you wouldn't normally even think about that.
I guess
because if I was being criticized, like I said, if I had 1 million subscribers with my mindset now, I'll probably be the same. Be like, oh, shut the fuck up. Do you know what I mean? It's the same
Yeah,
sort of
you're
thing.
picking on me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Even.
You can't get that. You do have to be,
especially amongst friends. If he honestly thought like obviously all these people are his friends, and they probably were his friends. Do you know what I mean? Like you said, you're all mates. Like, you're gonna like fuck around with your friends and just tell them, "Oh, fuck off! I don't give a fuck." And then
that's what exactly.
It must definitely surprise him when they took it the way they did.
No. So the way when he said it, we heard a YouTuber say it to a bigger YouTuber, and we handle bigger. One of the things we've done, I mean, with wars with face banks, we handle ourselves, and we come out. We may not win the sub war. We come out looking good. We got like, I don't know. I must be the guy. The biggest guy on the internet with the big, Tommy C's Irrelevant has become out of more big YouTubers' mouth and guys that are way bigger than me and make way more money. And I am always on the tip of their tongue telling me I'm irrelevant. And it's like when it happens once from a big YouTuber, from a big YouTuber, that might be kind of disappointing. When it happens all the time, when people that are bigger stars than you, that I'm irrelevant, then you start to realize, oh, that's not the case.
You're in their heads.
I'm a pain in your ass. I'm in your head.
I reckon you're like the most well-known YouTuber with the smallest amount of subs.
Yeah, it's fucking crazy.
Probably true.
Yeah.
That's baited. That I think. I don't think that's me as much as it is baited. I think that's baited. I think the people stuck around and the ones that were willing to give me a chance after baited are the one that makes it. But what makes me famous is baited. But what keeps my fan base is shot from the point, and is me and shot from the point. No, when I say shot from the point, it's team. Yeah, it doesn't work. And even when it was only like me and Dave consulting, that was a team. So yeah, that's what keeps it going. Yeah, all right. Yeah, if I was on the show, it's not shot from the point. I get that, but I don't think I make it with it. You can't do this without you can't do this job without other people. But you can't. You still have to be very vigilant without becoming paranoid.
Yes.
You know, that's really what it comes at. Vigilance without paranoia, because paranoia will lead you down a revenge path. And if you get that revenge, the only guy that can live in the revenge world forever is Keemstar. And I give him much props for that. You know, he's able to walk that line every fucking day. But for me, and I think for most other YouTubers, it's just a matter of time before the bullet's in the chamber that you swung around. And that's going to fire this time. So for everybody else who are playing Russian Left, Keem knows how to dance better than everybody else.
Yeah.
He's got experience.
He knows how to fucking hustle, man. Honestly, like, all the shit throughout the year. Someone he could give him respect for, like, the amount of shit he's had thrown at him, and he's still coming out on top.
It's like a fucking YouTube war hero.
He just doesn't.
He's a little like me in the sense, I mean, I compared to him a lot, but he likes the dirt a little more than he thinks. See, I think the difference between me and him is I can take a slight.
I don't have
to respond to a 100 sub YouTuber. I mean, I think that's the key difference. But I mean, I think we're of the same ideology. Is never apologize. Almost under any circumstances. Him, it's never. But almost under everything. Like, I only apologize if you hurt somebody and because you fucked up the story or you fucked up the. Never apologize. Always move forward and never quit. And I think that's what separates him from 90% of the YouTubers, is that there is just nothing that he can do that's going to embarrass himself enough that he would ever walk away.
He's already done like the worst things you could possibly do multiple times.
Yeah, exactly. And that it's gone from being a liability to making him endearing. You know, so so that's it. And I think he has that. Well, I could say I think he's a psychopath. I think he's a sociopath. You know, you can't feel guilty if you think you're perfect. You know, but there's something to be learned from psychopaths, and that kind of go-getter mentality is actually healthy. It's just, can you turn it off? And I don't know about most people, but if I don't turn it off, then I get December of 2016, where I made big mistakes because I was way up my own fucking ass. You know?
Kingdom Hearts.
that was the warning. That was the warning. I did not take heed of the warning. A lot of people don't know this. I lost subs on those.
Yeah, no, I remember. After the Nick Cash thing.
The Nick Cash thing really, that put the first, because it's never one thing. If you just do one thing and walk away, you'll be fine over time. Look at like H3, okay? And when he's fucked up, it's like one thing. If you do one thing, you put the bad taste, and then you back it up with a baited breakup, you're fucked. I'm one of the few YouTubers who knows what it's like to be fucked and still walk away with something. You know.
What is your opinion on H3H3? I mean, especially a lot of people, it seems to be in the community, are starting to turn on him. He used to be like the golden boy, like top of the YouTube game. But a lot of people have turned at him recently, especially with the podcast thing, the ad thing he did, and it's just like a downward spiral, it seems like.
I've become from somebody who actually disliked him to it was a lot easier meeting him and talking to him. I really like his wife. I gotta be honest with you. I think she's fucking great. Healy's all right, man. She's I think they have a very similar. They probably get to spend more time together than me and my wife do. But they have that's his best friend in the world, and that's my wife. And a lot of married couples don't have that. They're like that's my buddy. You know, they have that. Yeah. And that's the way me and my wife are. She's like kind of my guy buddy too. You know.
Oh, perfect.
You know? And yeah, that we have that. And I really dig her. I didn't like him because I didn't like the way I saw the Leafy situation, Tommy and C, is I thought everybody's cashing in. Yeah. You know, and nobody really gave a fuck. All right. And I did. I said, I don't know if it got recorded. I think it was afterwards. I was like, no, I didn't think you were that sincere. I told him right to his face. You know, I did. But I did say, like, now that I, heard this podcast, I was here, I feel a little differently now, you know. And so then he switches to the podcast, and everybody gets pissed off at him. All right? He goes to this horrible court battle. Everybody gets pissed off at him, and they're like, you're not making fucking videos. You're not making videos, right? And one of the reasons he switched is because Keem and a lot of other people, not just Keem, were saying that, he thought he was holier than thou. Yeah. And he was because he made exposed videos. That's what he did for a long time, And then he makes the mistake of doing the commercial and kind of playing it off like it's another H3 video. And then he comes back and he does those same type of exposed videos again, right? And at first everybody's like, whoa, H3's back. And then they're like, wait a minute, he's grandstanding. Well, that's what he did before. Now you told him to look, you chased him into podcasting for grandstanding, and then you yelled at him for not making fucking videos. Now he comes back and making his grandstanding videos, and you're pissed off at him again. Yeah. It's like so now I'm like one of his defenders. That now I'm actually definitely one of his defenders. I rarely agree. I think it's because I'm more conservative and he's a liberal, so I don't agree with the way he looks at things, but I don't think he's a bad person. And I think that shit that came out about pulling the old Jew card was really lousy. I think looking back, he should have never went unbaited. Ever should he have went unbaited.
Really, H3?
Never should have went on.
I thought he came off quite good on that.
Yeah, but you know what? Why do the guy like the enemy of my enemy is my friend? But once this is over, I'm going right back at you. And in October of 2017, that's exactly what happened with Keem, and he tried to use JonTron and everything else to get to ruin his credibility. Yeah. So that you never do Keem favors. You never bail him out of a bad situation because if it's an end, look, all right, because they both had something to agree on. Leafy's a bad guy, so I'll go on and talk about Leafy, and you go on and talk about this, and we'll get it back. And it did. It forced Leafy out of his shell, because he used to be able to go back, and the criticism got so harsh and unbaited, it forced him to come out, and he made a mistake. And then Nick Cash put the fucking nail in the coffin, if you ask me. So no, you don't do it, but. I think H3 is flawed. I think he's generally a good guy. I think the horror story, I used to hear horror stories, especially people that came back from VidCon in 2017, just told me what a douchebag he was, Wow. By the way, my experience with him is not like that at all. I mean, horror stories. I think he fixed whatever he was doing, and I think if I had to guess, it's that paranoia vigilance balance. You know what I mean? Yeah. That he probably wasn't walking too well, and that's why he's rubbing people the wrong way, like people that should have been his friends, maybe that were chased off. So I think he fixed that. And now I'm just like, what the fuck do you want from this guy? Yeah. What do you want from him? Like, he's doing what you tell him, you still get pissed off. All right, the fucking video game thing was a bad idea. Yeah. And then he's got Keem on his ass every fucking minute. Yeah, it's true. He's got Keem in his ass every minute because no good deed goes unpunished, huh? Fucking Ethan. Yeah.
The whole Rice Gum, when he made that video on Rice Gum, Keem went in. He's promoting Rice Gum's video. He's like, H3 guy's fucking ass fucked by Rice Gum.
The better
shit
health
like
thing,
that.
the Rice Gum.
Yeah, everything.
The stupidest fucking controversy was when he said the N-word, or they used he criticized Poos. When he criticized Poos, like, yeah, you're the top guy on a show. You should use your head. By the way, Poos agreed.
Yeah.
You should show a little restraint. Poos agreed. What do we see? What do we see next? Right? Fucking H3's a backstabber.
Yeah.
He even stabbed Andre. No, he gave them criticism. Yeah. Criticism isn't backstabbing. And getting back to the Nerd City thing. But that was the narrative. That's the narrative that he wanted to spin. He's a tough bug to squish too.
Yeah.
And I think it's because he's talented and he's a damn good YouTuber. He's a legend.
Yeah.
H3 is a YouTube legend. There's a YouTube Hall of Fame. He's going, right? He's a legend. And a lot of times, like, you know what? Here's another thing. When you dip out, some fights you dip out of, you're better off.
Yeah.
And I don't know that Rice Gum was wrong about some of the criticism. Hey, wait a minute. You're telling me I'm doing this? Because I think with the Rice Gum thing, the narrative is all wrong. You're selling gambling to kids.
Yeah.
Like, come on, man. Look, there's all sorts of gambling for kids. Yeah. Like why is Rice Gum any more guilty of getting on the wrong, like being like he didn't know. Although I did talk to a lawyer, he could be held accountable because it's a legal lottery. I didn't know that. But he's not going to be. The same lawyer told me. Leora Lesser, by the way, give him a shout out. But he was right. Like, you got into Better Health. You didn't know exactly what it was about. And you went with it, and then you found out it was fucked up. You walked. Yeah. I did the same thing. Yeah. What's the difference? And I think that was a legitimate comeback by Bryce. I'm sure he didn't think of it himself.
Yeah, definitely not.
Keemstar whispered.
I'm sure he didn't say monotone Monica himself because he's not that funny, But no, I don't think he's beyond reproach. Yeah. I don't think the Better Health thing was the biggest. I did a whole thing on Better Health. It wasn't as big a scandal as everybody said it was. People said that it was like this. The business is done. And we showed on Shot from the Point. We brought a lawyer on. We showed you this is bad management. This is not criminal.
It's not illegal. It wasn't illegal.
It's not illegal. It's not a criminal, and it's not the same thing with the selling gambling to kids. Taking advantage of the mentally ill. Look, if the system worked, if BetterHelp worked.
Yeah.
It was a better business model, then it's not taking advantage of people. That's like, if you have cancer fucking medication, right? And you're like, oh, you're really selling that cancer medication. You're taking advantage of cancer. Yeah, I am. Trying to, it's utterly ridiculous, You're only taking, like, you're selling fucking dog collars. You're just trying to get dogs to keep from getting hit by cars. I mean, like, get the fuck out of there. You're trying to help people. That's it. Did the business model not work? Yes. Was it a criminal or even a scam?
No,
not even close.
It
wasn't. Just bad business. That's all it was. And there's 5 other BetterHelps out there that got no attention during that whole thing to try to paint Shane Dawson, but not Shane because he was hot at the time. Notice Keem didn't go after Shane. He went after fucking H3 and his other enemies. And then the other thing was that we disproved on Shot from the Point. The bet is you can buy your way into the Better Business Bureau. You can buy a better rating. So therefore, because here's the thing: BetterHelp's Better Business Bureau numbers were fucking really good. Right? But they, Memology 101 discredited it based on that you can buy your way into a good rating, which we brought fucking Leora Lesser on, and he told us that's criminal.
Yeah.
That's fucking criminal. There was a situation where if you're an A+ member, like an A member, you could buy A+, and all the plus meant was that you were paying dues. If you got a B, you got a B. Yeah. You were paying some kind of dues. They did crack. I think it was in 2010. They went in there, and I think the FTC said no go, and they stopped it. That was it. You can't buy a fucking good rating in the Better Business Bureau. That's a lie. It's actually slanderous lie. Yeah. So we showed it. That's another thing. You listen to my channel, you will get beyond the fucking mainstream bullshit. You will get the real deal. We will go to the experts. We will find out. People ask me, why did Keem show up to my fucking streams? That's exactly why. That's exactly why. Because he knows I'm going to get it right, and it goes against the narrative. Same thing with FaZe Banks. When he spun that whole thing like he was a victim. Me and Dave said, wait, Banks is going to have to pay out here. Yeah. This Barley House, they're the victims of his behavior. It's not going to be seen in the real world, maybe on YouTube, but in the real world, he's going to have to pay out. He did. We were right.
Keemstar's your number 1 viewer on Shot from the Point.
He's in there all the time. He's in there all the time. But I think he goes in there because he wants to spin the narrative. He wants to say that BetterHelp's a scam without giving it a full examination, without talking to the experts. And I want to actually get to what it actually is. I wouldn't recommend BetterHelp. All right, it's pretty shitty business. But a scam means criminal to me.
Yeah.
It never pretended to be more than what it actually was either.
No, it really didn't. Well, they get you to somebody. They don't put them in directly. No shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
No
you know
shit.
the price beforehand as well. So
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I hate to say it, right? Because Keem's, he's in his late 30s. We do a goofy show, and it's really stupid. That's all I ever wanted to do. But when it comes down to it, we do act like grown-ups when it comes to allegations.
Yeah.
yes,
That's the one thing. I'm stupid as fuck. I'm a big dumb boomer, and all my stupid gamer friends that are fucking 20 years younger than me, right? But when we do something, I'm one of these guys. I don't believe journalism exists. I don't believe in it. I tell Tim Pool, there's no such thing. It doesn't exist. If there was a book about journalism ethics, by the way, there isn't. It'd be the world's smallest book. It's just a bunch of jackass fucking college professors with their own fucking political agendas telling you what the ethics are. It's whatever you want them to be at the time. But we, at Shot from the Point, all right, Shot from the Point News, we try to get it right when it comes to serious shit.
Yeah.
We've always done that, and it's something that Drama Alert will never do. We always try to get it right, whereas, like, this is the way the normies are going to view this. This is the reality, and this is reality, and this is what like here, like all right. FaZe Banks got kicked out of a bar. He was abused, and they sexually assaulted his girlfriend, which all turned out to be bullshit. Okay, right, all right. They're gonna pay. That was the narrative. They're gonna pay for this. Barley House. We told you, not only are they not gonna pay, Banks is gonna pay, and he's fucking guilty.
Yeah.
That never got covered on Drama Alert, did it? The fact that he paid out, we covered it. Didn't get a lot of hits either, unfortunately.
so the Drama Alert is a yin.
Drama Alert is entertainment.
News is
We
yang.
do entertainment, but I can promise you when it comes to serious shit, we're going to flip that fucking Shot from the Point bullshit off and get it right. First of all, I could be held liable. All right,
exactly.
I'm not Keemstar. I can't put $1 million defense lawyer up. All right. But when it comes to serious shit, we're going to get it right. And I think that's entertaining because you get the fucking Call of Duty fanboy spin on it, and then you get the grown-ups. So when it comes to that, the rest of the time, it's not for grown-ups. But when it comes to something serious, we're not doing it by YouTube logic.
Yeah.
We're going to do it by reality.
I think your audience is definitely generally older than
It's like
Drama
15.
Alert.
I think it's about 15 to 30.
Yeah.
Whereas
Drama
I think the
Alerts.
Drama Alerts, I'm guessing it's about 15 to 30. Because there's no way to tell from because kids lie about their ages to your content. There's no way to tell. Everybody's statistics looks the same. Look, I think it's latter end of high school, like 16, 17, 18, college, and a little before that. And then we got scattered 30s, and after 30s, no. So it's 30s, 20s, late teens. And the guys that hold it up are the guys in their 30s and 20s. Because they have jobs. They can afford to really support the show. Yeah. So yeah, we have probably more grown-ups. We have a share of kids. They're welcome. Whatever. If your mom's cool with My Filthy Mouth and my take on the world, yeah, that's great. Don't donate unless you can afford it. Yeah. And you probably shouldn't be donating. You're underage anyway. No. But though, yeah, the people that support me have jobs for the most part, as far as I know. I don't want to hear a kid that doesn't have a job giving me $50.
That's an interesting thing, actually, but the whole donations, like, are they even allowed? Do they have to lie about your age to donate?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's a weird
the
thing. I never
YouTube
even thought about that.
I'm not sure.
Things
I'm
like
not terribly
Streamlabs and things like that, like...
I think they need parents' permission. That's how they say it.
I'm sure I would have turned back donations if I could see who.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not
on
having
a few
to go
occasions.
and
I'm sure I have. I'm sure I would have. I sent the. I initially sent the Aiden Project's donation back in July of 2000.
Oh, I remember the drama
August of
of that.
2017. Yeah. Oh, that was fucking a nightmare. Just to put that one out, if there's any new listeners, supposedly I kept the money for myself. And I only gave it back to him after the Drama Alert, after he blew up. Yeah. I gave the money back 2 days before. It was on the 26th of December, and the Drama Alert episode that put Aiden up was on the 28th. So I gave it back beforehand, so it was a misclick, like I said. It was a misclick that I said, like I said it was. Yeah. And initially, when I sent it back, Aiden responded to me, and we have the tweets. You didn't have to do this, bro. And then a month later, in the middle of January, I stole money from him.
But he had Keem whispering in his ear.
He had Keem, and it didn't work. He had to delete. He had to take that video up and down and up and down, and he took it down, and then he blew up, and then he put it back up, and then it got 100. Then it got 100,000 hits after that. But I mean, that was coming. There's nobody that made a video on you. There's nobody who really got you. You're right. And to this fucking day, 100K, million sub, 500K guys, fucking 50K guys, whatever fucking kid you're trying, no one's got me yet. I am, you know why? Because I have that advantage. That's the same thing that David is Gaming found out. Fuck it. I can hit you back hard 12 hours later with facts.
There you go.
And you know what? As long as I keep my core audience satisfied, that I'm not doing something shady or ripping off a kid or anything like that. And keep in mind, when I sent his money back, I made a Twitter video saying I'm sending it back because I don't think this is on the up. He gave us like $300 or whatever it was. Yeah. But yeah, there was a misclick. And the only reason somebody said like, I was looking for reasons to defend Chubbs. And then somebody said, you know, that was the kid that donated you money. That's the kid. Like, it's him. Hey, there's something shady about him. It said Aiden last name. That was the fucking donation thing. When I called him on the phone, asked to talk to his father, he wouldn't let me speak to him. Yeah, so I talked to him and I said, hey, I'm sending money back, buddy. And I made a video telling everybody the kid was too young. He wouldn't let me talk to his parents. He seems like a good kid. We all do crazy stuff when we're young. That's by it. But I guess I didn't fucking... I told Kirsch to send her money back. She did. I let Jamie keep it because he was in L.A., right? Yeah. And I apparently didn't send the last $300. Either way, I lost money in the deal because when I paid it back, and I paid all the remember, I'm in Europe, so if I'm sending money to the States, I'm losing money on top of that. I made no money on that situation.
You paid for Jamie's share, didn't you?
Yeah,
you paid back Jamie's.
Yeah, I basically gave Jamie $100 of mine, and I thought I sent all $300 because each donation came out. It wasn't $300 at once; it was 3 separate donations of $100. So I gave one to Kirsch, one to kept one for myself, and then gave one to Jamie. Then I told Kirsch to send it back. After I told it, she immediately sent the money back. I said, let Jamie keep his, and I'll refund all 3 of it. Yeah. Right? Yeah. And that'll be the $100 donation from me, thinking that I refunded all 3 of it. But yeah, he fucked that up. He said in that video that I gave the donation back because he blew up, and he doesn't blow up when I give the donation back, and he thanked me and questioned me that I told me I didn't have to do it the day I did it. And we had the tweets. You know, so there you go. Another misnomer about me. Plenty.
Should we wrap this up because it's been over 2 hours?
Yeah, sure. If you like,
should we have like one quick question each?
All I was going to say is just so what are the plans next time? I know it's a bit of a boring generic question, but what have you got on the books? Anything? Any big projects coming up soon?
Just try not to get shut down by the joke. No, I don't have any new content things. I just want to. I think I want to maintain what I have. I like Shop with the Boy News again and recommended. You know, I don't ever seem to have fun. I'm thinking about a video on face banks.
Oh damn! Just straight up.
Ooh. Yeah. I'm thinking about that because I'm just to go over that whole year. Yeah. Because Banks has not answered Jake Paul's challenge, and I'm going to take everything back from when Jake Paul first screwed him. Yeah. First kind of screwed it. Jake Paul did something horrible to face Banks. By the way, we defended him too. So that goes to the only reason I was doing it because of Keemstar. And I defended him all through that. And the videos of the podcast are still up. Yeah. And I'm going to just go through this series of threats and lack of following through on stuff. And I think I'm going to document all of it.
Nice. Damn, that'd be very interesting.
Yeah. Right. And document all of it. You know, because he hasn't, it's been almost 40 days, nothing. You know, for a guy that wanted to kill fucking Jake Paul, and he writes this really weak-ass tweet. He says, well, it was a deadbeat. Man, I want to watch that fight. Fuck that. As a YouTube fucking fight fan, which I am, I'm proud to say I liked what KSI made. Yeah. Right? Yeah. As a YouTube fight fan, I want that. So you don't get out of this like you get out of Barley House. Team doesn't tell everybody that you fucked up and you had to pay out. So, yeah, I want to put this out there. Go fight. And you know what? If you don't fight, what I'm saying about you, I'm right about you. So, yeah, that's probably the closest thing to exposure.
Isn't there a Twitter account that's keeping track of the days?
Yes, there is.
Face Banks hasn't accepted.
Nick Dior. Oh, excuse me. I don't know who it is. I don't know who it is.
Nice.
He blocked him. He blocked him too, which is really funny.
All right. I've got a question. Make this the last question. It's a quick one. Would you rather sleep with Keemstar or have a tattoo of one of Tobe's political tweets?
I think I'd take Tobe's political sleep.
On your forehead?
A forehead? No, then I'm fucking that guy right in the ass.
He's fucking Keemstar in the ass.
Well, I do it every day on Top of the Point. What's the difference?
Now that's a way to end a podcast.
There you go.
Well, so we've had myself, Nuzgar, guest host, Detective Deckard.
Goodbye.
And our fantastic special guest, Tommy C.
Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Good. Beautiful.
Thanks, guys. Thanks. Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.